Hello, everyone. Welcome to Table Reads on ScriptCamp. I am your host, Gray. And for those of you new to this event, what we do is read through our submitted scripts from our members here on the server. We give them feedback, we constructive criticism, we have fun. If you choose to participate, the event in terms of giving feedback or reading a character, then I will grant the script coins, which is a currency here on the server. The dollar sign or a thing, an exclamation point. Bam. Yep, there's the blurb. That's all the information on script coins. You can use them to buy various merch if you have 100 of them. You can purchase your very own full-length feature or TV pilot read here at this event, so do keep that in mind. Let's see, but yeah, happy to see some new faces today. Hope you guys enjoy. Does everyone know to go to Table Reads info? See the information? You don't have to. I'm going to read out the information and the script will be streamed PDF stream. But if you do want to download the PDF to read on your own, that's where it is in Table Reads info. But yes, our first submission today is a 5-pager from Evil Michael. This is Chicago Ed, evening drama / soap opera TV pilot. Logline, 11-year-old Ernest learns of his parents' deviant past. Feedback we're looking for: can the reader / viewer understand why this TV show is so devastating to Ernest? Content warning for a child in state of emotional meltdown. Anything to add before we start, Evil Michael?
I think, yeah, like I said, I think most of these people were here for this, so they realized, for uninitiated, Ernest found a videotape where his parents were on a Jerry Springer type TV show, behaving like absolute buffoons and confessing to having and engaged regularly in menage a trois. Mommy, daddy.
It's quite the thing to discover about your parents, so let's jump right into it then. I will read the when I speak this direction. I'm going to do the direction for the script. I'm going to go down the list of characters in this script to read for that character in then just speak up and see. The list is so long now. I have so much room for error. Anderson, character Anderson. Anderson.
Black
Okay.
rookie cop.
Oh yeah, Black Cop. You want a Morgana?
Sure.
Thank you, Morgana. Rojas. Rojas.
Social worker.
Social.
I'll take Rojas.
Thank you, Willow.
Yeah, I'll take Wayne.
Thank you, Zach. Jasmine.
Yes.
Thank you,
Grandpa.
Dan. Oh. Nelson. For the part of Nelson.
Being uncle.
Oh boy, yep. Who can capture that effectively?
Only had one line or two.
He here is act. Who can act like a deviant uncle? Fiction.
Oh man.
You need some help.
No. Please, someone end this conversation.
I'll take the part if no one else is gonna take up arms.
Oh, I can do it if you still need someone.
Okay, thank you, Soupy.
If you need someone, I'm here.
Okay, Heated. Can I cast you as Florence?
Sure.
Thank you, Heated. And
I can take a role as well.
thank you, Joe. I'll make Miller.
Cool.
There we are. Cast list in Table Reads info. Does everyone PDF open or the PDF stream open for you to read the script on?
I just need 1 minute.
Oh, okay. Good.
Kind of submit like
What's
a page.
the script?
So it's called Conclusion of Ernest Meltdown. It's in Table Reads Info, or you can click on PDF stream in the voice channel.
Got it. All right, cool.
So, Evil Michael, is this a direct continuation of what we just read last week, or is there stuff? Did stuff happen, and this is like later on?
This is a direct continuation of the scene. It was 15 pages, and so you guys patiently and dutifully got through about 10 of them. So this is a continuation of the scene. Ernest is in the police station. He put a major bite on Anderson, and he's finally calmed down, and they're bringing his family into the situation.
Yeah, I don't think there's any risk of me like reading too much today, because like everything is contained and like we're supposed to read everything in these PDFs. But if I do that in the future, just I don't know, reach through the computer and use a squirt bottle on me. Yeah, great. But yeah, getting open heated.
Yeah, ready to rock.
Okay, sweet. Here I go with direction then. The officer puts a plate with a sandwich on the table, uncuffs Ernest. Wait, no, do you want me to start from the slug line?
Sure, that's the perfect spot. I tried, for continuity purposes, I tried to pick it up just a little. Where we left off, I included a little bit of that.
Okay, I'll do what I was doing then. The officer puts a plate with a sandwich on the table, uncuffs Ernest, and sits next to him. Rojas places a soda and a bag of chips on the table and leaves. Ernest sits, not eating. Interior video screening room today. Present are Miller, Anderson, and Rojas. On the screen is Ernest's family on a surprise/ambush/reveal type trash TV program. Jasmine is on the screen explaining to Nelson that she is in love with her brother, Wayne. This is followed by typical trash show action with the entrance of Wayne, confrontation, fists, audience chants, chair tossing security guards, and lots of censored profanity. Anderson stares with his mouth agape.
It's a TV show. There's no abuse. No one is doing the wild thing. It's a TV show.
Pat, go back to your training. He's 11. What did he hear his mother say? What did he see his entire family do? This show is a national broadcast.
I've always wondered always wondered why anyone would go on national TV and behave like this.
Confidential, Pat? We've worked with this family in the past. Ernest is an amazing survivor.
Where did he get that mouth?
Ernest spends all his time reading history and watching classic movies and stand-up comedians. That's his reality. He tests at least a year above grade level.
Where did he learn to bite like that?
From you. You put him in the survival state when he chose to play Kimas Macho with an 11-year-old child. Ernest is really a sweet little boy when he's not being manhandled. Your man needs a lot of work here, Kelly.
Nacho, tell me if this volume is better now.
Yeah.
Interior.
Yep.
Okay, great. Interior front desk of station, day. Wayne, Jasmine, Nelson, and Florence enter and sign in at front desk. Interior holding room, day. Present are Anderson standing in the back, Ernest, Miller, and Rojas. Ernest's family enters. Ernest jumps out of his chair. We cast anyone as...
He wasn't in the list.
I can read if you need me.
Don't you touch
Okay.
me. I don't know who you people are. Stay away.
And Nacho, you cover Ernest. Dan, you're Jasmine.
Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Honey,
Don't you honey me, you slut. You brought both of your boy toys? Why is Grandma here?
Ernest, why don't you settle down so we can...
Why don't you go commit an act of procreation in a solo fashion, you bean counting, pencil pushing, paper shuffling desk jockey?
Miller steps to Ernest, puts her bulletproof covered midsection to his face, and walks him to the back of the room.
Alright, let me explain something to you, little no bigger than a minute. Henry, High Yellow, Monty Python, wannabe ass. We have been empathetic with you. We have protected you, we tried to feed you, and all you've done is hurl insults, throw tantrums, and spout racial pejoratives, yet that haven't been used since Reconstruction. You bit my partner. That right there is an assault on your police officer.
Miller leans down, snarl talks in his ear.
Now sit your little narrow ass down in that chair and comport yourself in a polite manner, or I will personally drive you to the worst cell block on Roosevelt Avenue I can find and leave you there with those lonely horn child abusing malcontent. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
Yes, Officer Miller, I understand. It's the correct response.
Yes, Officer Miller, I understand.
Miller walks and stands by the door. Ernest returns to the table.
Ernest, right now we need you to come home.
Can I ask you something? Why did you go on that TV show and say all this?
Ernest, it was a new thing and we just thought we'd try.
You were using that stuff. Why you act like such a...
Ernest looks towards Miller and covers his mouth.
Look, Ernest, if it helps to know.
Don't you talk to me, Nelson. Don't you ever come near me again. I swear I will ever try to touch me again. I'll do you worse than I did that ape in the squad car. I promise you that.
The room goes silent as all eyes shift to Anderson in the back of the room. Ernest leaps out of his chair.
No, not you, Anderson. You know I didn't mean that. I was just doing potty mouth. I'm not with these people. Please stop looking at me that way.
Sit down and shut up.
Why is this happening to me? I didn't do nothing wrong.
Ernest bites his left bicep. Anderson restrains him.
That's it. Everybody out.
All of Ernest's family leave in a chaotic state. Another officer enters and removes Ernest as he puts up another attempted fight.
Anderson, they're gonna kill me. You're gonna put me in a bad boy Roosevelt. Anderson.
Pat, breathe. We'll go home with family after your calls. You have to cover the banisters and break out today.
Anderson and Miller leave. Interior hallway, same. Jasmine and Florence talk. Wayne and Nelson stand by a vending machine.
Y'all been smoking that stuff again?
No, Mom, not for years.
I try to tell y'all not to do that show. You're having fun now?
Wayne and Nelson walk toward Florence.
Florence?
Don't y'all crackheads try to talk to me now. Walk away.
Wayne and Nelson return to the vending machine.
So what you gonna do now?
Mom, he needs a night out. Only talks to you.
Don't cops do overtime anymore?
They can't do that anymore. One night, Mom. Please.
I'm bringing him home in the morning, and I want to see that Anderson cop when I get there.
In Act 2. All right, excellent job to everyone reading, and thank you, Evil Michael, for sharing. I'm going to attempt, not every time, but like for as long as I can have steam still built up, because like by the time I like get to give feedback by the end, my gears have stopped spinning and everyone has already said what I meant to say. But let's see. I think last time we talked about how you wanted your impression of this pilot, it was basically like all contributed to shock value. And trying to mete out like exactly how this contributes to that. Ernest's insult towards I can't remember where, at the top of page label 25 is insults towards Rojas don't like seem as cutting as some of the other insults in. Not saying that you should make it like the other insults in the script, some of which, as we've said, are like racial pejoratives, but I don't know. I just want him to like bite even harder than he already is right now if you're going what I think you're going for. Which, as we said, shock value. But yeah. I'm not all the way clear on what you want us to feel towards Ernest, but I don't sympathize with him, to say the least. But yeah. But I don't know. I think if some of the more verbose insults were maybe condensed or like made into more like elaborate puns or jokes, I don't know. But yeah. Let's see. Lasagna said I just felt angry at Ernest, TBH, which I feel like I shouldn't be. I'm cool with people being angry at Ernest. Again, I don't know your intention, Evil Michael, but I am okay with whatever comeuppance he gets.
Okay. Am I responding to that or just listening?
Ideally, like it wouldn't be a monologue, a dialogue. Usually,
Okay.
like we're giving feedback, like we just say things and you choose like what's useful to you and what's not.
Okay.
But yeah. All right, I'll start with you guys' feedback now. I hope someone can be more succinct than I am, not a high standard. Feedback we're looking for: can the reader/viewer understand why this TV show is so devastating to Ernest? Dan, would you like to start us off with feedback?
Sure, I can understand it's devastating. I can't understand why it's this devastating. Okay, his parents did some drugs, had a little odd sex, but he's an 11-year-old kid and he's acting like he's some sort of an older kid would maybe more be understanding why this might be an older person might be more understanding why this is a big deal. After all, your father might not even be your father at this point. So there's that issue. There's also the fact that this thing kind of just runs up to 100, and then how do you go up from it escalates right away to the top. So from there, the only direction you can kind of go is down. So everything is like, okay, everything is already at extreme mode. So the rush of the bites and all that, it wore off when he started biting before. Also, a lot of the insults, Rojas's opening bit feels like an exposition. It's very explaining, and it didn't feel like it was for him. It felt like it was for the audience. It didn't seem organic. A lot of the dialogue kind of has that issue. For instance, I noticed the mom constantly was saying the person's name every time she would talk to them. So a lot of it feels, I don't know, it's like there's a potential here. It just feels like it's rushing into itself too big. And then it just keeps going. It's just staying at the extreme where the reader or the watcher will have no time to absorb what's going on because it's just so much chaos off the top, off the bottom, everything ping-ponging all over the place in your head. And it's like, well, okay. And then you're like, okay, more biting. Okay, more biting. Yeah, we've already done the biting. We've already jumped to the top. How could you possibly go up from there? I don't know. It just feels like we're at this extreme adrenaline mode. and we don't leave that adrenaline mode. But adrenaline doesn't last forever.
All right, was that all, Dan?
Yeah.
Thank you for your feedback. Heated, did you have any thoughts on the script?
Yeah, I like the dialogue. It feels very emotional, right? Like it's like one of those moments at a family party where things get serious about the gossip in the family. I'm surprised that there's not cursing. I feel like you could put in a fuck in there just to give it a bit of unks. But again, I don't know the ages of these people. I'm just coming in, but it feels also like it feels very drama like in the sense of like Revolutionary Road and Winter's Bone. At least that's what I get. I guess with the it felt very southern for me. Other than that, that's yeah, that's all I got.
Thanks, Heated. Den says Ernest doesn't really come across as 11. His vocabulary is way too erudite, yet simultaneously lower class, which juxtaposes hard. So do you say erudite? Erudite? I'll figure that out.
It means like smart.
Yeah, but yeah, I just need to figure out how to pronounce it. But
erudite, doesn't matter. Potato, potato.
yeah, but yeah, thank you, Heated. Dea, would you like to give feedback?
Hi. Okay. I do agree with Dan with the beginning scene with Rojas explaining to kind of us and Anderson about how Ernest is really a good kid. And I see that you say exactly to us, like saying that Ernest sounds like a douche. And I'm really unclear about how we are supposed to feel about Ernest. Are we supposed to feel bad for him because he's really a good kid? Or are we supposed to feel like he's just kind of a dick? And it's just entirely unclear about like where you are going with this or what you want to do. And I think you said in the last time we did this you wanted to confuse us. And I'm not sure if that's an entirely like I don't know if that's like a good thing. Because it just makes it confusing to read and a bit like, which I guess is the point. It's supposed to be confusing to read, but it's just like it's not enjoyable, I guess. I just feel confused and like just kind of I don't know. And then later on, yeah, it kind of goes from 100 to 100 to like a crawl, and it does feel like we're on a constant adrenaline rush, like Dan said, and it's just sort of like I'm getting tired. I'm getting afraid. Oh, it's just sort of I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Come back to me one day when I have a brain.
Someday, next fortnight. Well, thank you, Jay.
Yep.
You can always like say something later. We can come back to you if you have more stuff. So don't worry.
Yeah, thank you.
Joel, do you have any feedback?
Yeah, adding on from what Jadea was saying, you did confuse us. It was confused. I don't know whether to have empathy or not for this kid. I really do not. Until the police officer scene, I think. And I began to have a little bit of empathy, and then it was just dashed out the window again. I want to have someone who I'm following, someone I'm interested in, someone, I want to invest in. I don't want to invest in this kid who's just angry and racist and doing all of this. I don't really want to watch an 11-year-old be like that. It just straight up repulses me, and there's no way in the world that I would voluntarily watch that kind of thing. I know that you said that you want to confuse us. But in the screenplay, you should never confuse us. You want to have mystery, yes, but confusing us, no script gets thrown out, So you need to make it clear. Have mystery, have tension, but don't confuse us. And on that note, on tension, there was a lot of aggression, as I say. Lots and lots of aggression at everything. But no tension. There were no stakes. There was just shouting, which isn't fun to watch or fun to read. And also what Dan was saying about the 11-year-old, sort of what they're saying. It's just, yeah, I think he doesn't feel like an 11-year-old at all. He feels like, I don't even know who speaks like that. I've never heard that kind of thing. I guess the closest age would be about 15-ish. Not 11. I think 11 is just too young to be this vile and repulsive. Yeah. His personality, as Natchet says, it does seem a bit 8, but his words he's saying are 15. And so I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about this character. I'm confused about their age. I'm confused just about him, which, like I was saying, is not something you ever want in a screenplay.
Joel.
Yeah, that's it from me.
Right, thanks for the feedback. Zach says, see, I think the premise is very good because it sits in a unique position. If you make the whole thing super low class where this 11-year-old is angry at the whole world, but give him that one person who believes in him so he can hold on to it, making a bigger part of his life, that might be the way to go with this one, because then the audience has a reason to watch this kid go through the next stages of life and see where he ends up. Okay, yeah. Thanks for the feedback, Zach. Morgana. You had feedback.
Yes. Well, first of all, I don't have a problem with the premise at all. I think it's actually a pretty important one in terms of like showing this story of someone who has gone through bad things in life, a kid. I don't think that's shown enough. I would agree that it does, like from what we've seen in the last 5 pages and these 5 pages, it is a lot of moving pieces. Not that that's a bad thing in theory. Like I think of the Euphoria pilot, which is just crazy. I don't think it even reaches that level of craziness in the rest of the series. And I thought it was great, and that's why I kept watching it, even if as it got worse later on in the series. But in what I agree a lot with Dan, and I don't know. Again, he's going through bad stuff, but he comes off as just totally unlikable. And as a protagonist, I'd like to see like something like that we can root for here. And also one thing of note when the cops are watching the Jerry Springer show, it says Jasmine is on the screen explaining to Nelson that she is in love with his brother Wayne. I think that would be better if like we hear the dialogue of what she says. It's just like if this was made, they would have to improv that scene. So I would add dialogue to that.
Thanks, Morgana. Nacho, did you have any feedback?
Yeah. So I think, I mean, just regarding like the character of Ernest, I think we talked about this last time. There are a lot of kids that are a lot like this. My little brother was adopted, and his parents or his birth mother was like on crack or something or whatever. He was exposed to drugs, and growing up, he just had a lot of issues where he would just just try to press every possible button, acting out and destroying things. And there are a lot of kids that have these kinds of difficulties, where they will just act out in this way, and they'll try to do anything. Some cases, it's maybe like they want to try to push people's buttons to see if they'll reject them and send them back into foster care or whatever it is, but there are kids like this, and I've known a few who are like this. I think so you have some strong instincts dialogue, like with characters that have kind of like strong intentions behind their lines, and they're kind of, every line is a kind of a beat, right? So like a little tactic that the character's using to try to do something, push someone's button, or there's you have strong kind of intentions behind the lines. But the issue is that if you look at the scene on the whole, these little tactics need to support a bigger objective in the scene. So Ernest needs something, and this is pretty clearly seems to be Ernest's scene, second scene, right? Like he needs to be, there needs to be something he wants really badly that he's trying to accomplish in the scene. And this is basically true. Like almost every scene needs something like this. Like I like a lot of your dialogue. I think just try to find a way, figure out what is Ernest's, main objective in the scene. He's trying to, get something from one of the other characters, do something, make his mother feel a certain way, or something really clear that he can work towards, make it difficult for him, and give us some kind of surprise in the scene, and this scene will work, right? And I think the same for the previous scene. It just felt like a kind of abrupt transition with Anderson, where suddenly Ernest doesn't want to upset Anderson, and it didn't quite follow. Maybe that was set up better in the previous scene, and just I wasn't aware of the context. But I think the kind of bigger issues were on page 27, and I think we've read more or less, in different sessions, like from the beginning. I don't have a clear idea of what Ernest's goal is for the entire episode. So we really need to have a clear sense of like, what is Ernest trying to do in this episode? And, he should be already on his way into this journey at this point. So that's my main feedback. I want to just say, like, I've been reading lots of your work, and definitely I've seen like massive improvement, and a lot of the action lines and a lot of the stuff is like, feels like you're on the right track. Just try to identify whose scene is this, what do they want, what do they want in the scene, and then use dialogue as their little tact. They're trying something. Your is kind of like, this is like the rhythm of the scene. It can't be bang 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 bang. It's got to be like trying different tactics, right? Somebody's trying one tactic, and then it doesn't work, or it comes back in his face, and he tries a totally different tactic, right? And then a different one. It's hard with this kind of character who just acts out. And maybe you mentioned something about the parents were on crack or something like that. That can really, result in this kind of behavior. And there are, lots of kids like this. But to me, I would say he seemed more like 8 or 9-year-old, except for some of the dialogue was like, sounded like kind of like a much older person, not even a teenager, like somebody. It's like, but you kind of were saying, like, he watched a lot of classic movies and stand up, and I can kind of understand. I think it's just like some others said, you got to kind of be escalating a bit, or just like try to. I wouldn't worry too much in your, I think you just get a draft down where you've got like all these kind of scene objectives and the overall objective in the episode clear. But then, once you're polishing the dialogue, I would try to really look at like how to sort of, I don't know, he's got a strong voice, but I think you just want to look for consistency and try to see if there's some choices that can really, where it feels like his he's sort of escalating or something. Anyways, yeah, look forward to reading more, Michael. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Nacho. Judea says, I don't doubt that kids like Ernest exist, and I also don't doubt that they can be smart, like they know what they're doing, but I'm also unsure about how I'm supposed to feel about this character. I get that you know your setting, but we kind of don't. I feel like this is just cultural whiplash for a lot of us. I agree with the lack of stakes comment. We just see constant aggression, but the tension just isn't there, so it ends up rather overwhelming. It overpowers whatever message you're trying to send. Thank you, Judea. Non-Ben? Non-Benny? Do you want to turn on your mic and give feedback, or if it's your first time, it's always okay, just hang out, or you can type feedback. That goes for anyone. If any of you guys ever want to just go podcast mode and not say anything, that's cool too. All right, that works. Let's see. Oh, do you have any feedback?
Yeah. So there's a lot of I just wanted mostly to address something about not knowing how to feel about the character. Um I I don't think that addresses the root of that issue, which is um that like when people say they don't know how to feel about a character, I think it just mostly means that they don't really have like a positive opinion of the character, as in like they have only seen things to dislike about this character, and as such, it's hard to feel anything towards them. Um, they don't know what they're supposed to be feeling. I think that that's my criticism, in some sense as well, with Ernest is I don't really, I don't feel for him too much, like at all. Um, and if that's the point, then that's the point, and you achieved it. But if not, then there are things you can do to build this character in a way that makes him more empathetic. Um, but as of right now, it's one of those things that it's kind of not really working emotionally because we don't really have a sense of this kid's character. We only see him doing bad things. Um, yeah.
Uh, I also believe that because we don't get a sense of his character, we also don't understand his reaction to the TV show. I think it's just something we don't know Ernest at all. We don't understand Ernest and his reactions, his strong reactions to things. We don't know if he's like sensitive or something. So when he reacts to the show, but then he turns around and he says all this racist shit to everyone he meets and like insults them, bites them, fights them. It's sort of like I I can't sympathize with this child. I know that he's like hurting or like that he's distressed about something, but what he's distressed about is just completely disconnected from his behavior to me. So I honestly I don't know what I'm supposed to like feel. I don't I guess Paul's right. I just don't feel anything for this kid aside from just hmm.
Yeah, I think it's like more so like an acknowledgement that this kid the only thing we're acknowledging about the character is that he's doing bad things, is what I'm saying. Because of the level of how bad the things he's doing and saying are, as well as the fact that we don't really know much about him. Hard to judge people properly if we don't really know them. And that
Yeah.
goes the same for characters. I don't think that we should um I don't dig the idea of spelling out a character to the audience personally. That's not what I like to do. I don't like to be like this is how you should feel about the character. But you know, it's like they ought to feel something for the character. Because when they don't know how to feel, I think it's really what they're saying is that they just feel disdain for the character. Because usually when we feel that way about a character, there's nothing really special about them.
Yeah, I also do get that sense of disconnect from the trigger finding that videotape and his reaction. I feel like if I walked in on the final produced show and my friend was telling me, yeah, one of the characters in the show actually recently trashy reality show and they did drugs. I was like, oh, okay, which one of the characters on screen? Because I would have assumed that Ernest's, I don't know, he just found out his parents tried to sell him for $2,000 and an Applebee's gift card. Like, as I've been saying over and over, doesn't seem to match what actually happened, his reaction. But, let's see. Nacho says, also, I feel like seeing Ernest get ridiculed at school or something for the TV show could help us understand why it makes him so upset. Or kind of says, Perks of Pink Wallflower is a good movie about teen trauma. Willow says, I'm going to disagree. Disdain is still a feeling. Which I assume that was in response to Paul's feedback. Or just like that whole conversation.
Yeah, regarding the that we're not trying to find a nice way to say that he's unlikable. There's nothing wrong with him being unlikable. I think we don't understand his motives, and so we're just watching someone explode, and it's not entertaining, it's confusing. Like even say the Jerry Springer kind of show that has a kind of buildup of talking, exploding. And there's supposedly that's supposed to be entertaining. But I'm like reaching into the recesses of my dark mind, remembering like Jerry Springer type shows of they in shows like that they get you to kind of care. You hear different perspectives of people, and then they all start fighting, and that is where the entertainment comes from. Who's going to get their blows? I don't know. I knew somebody who watched this, and I never understood the entertainment of it. But anyway, it I think there's still stuff. There's probably still stuff on about that. We need to build up the relatability. And when I have some other things to talk about when it comes to my turn. But for example, this is like walking down the street and spotting two people across the street start yelling and fighting and coming to blows. It's kind of stop and stare. It's stop and stare, but you're not rooting for either team because you don't know. You don't have any kind of a personal connection. I think that's what the story is missing, is a personal connection to make us feel something other than we're just watching these people fight.
Ooh, thanks, Willow. And thank you, Paul. Keep working our way down the list. Alec, I think your microphone was sounding weird earlier. I don't know if you wanted to try again or if you wanted to type feedback this time. But yeah, either way, just let me know. It looks like you're typing. Yeah, I'll read out whatever you say. Soupy, did you have any feedback?
Yeah, I took a few notes. Should I wait for Pollock's comment?
Pollock just said, just a lot of shouting. Usually when people write out their feedback, I let other people go first so they can like read it out loud in between. But yeah, you go ahead.
Okay, sounds good. Some of this has kind of been said before, and may or may not make sense with like full context of the story. So take it or leave it as it's useful. I also would. I think calling him 11 is fine. Like his vulgarity, I've known that 11-year-old and been related to that 11-year-old as well. I do think his age becomes less clear with the characterization, though. Like one thing that jumped out to me was on page 26 when he's like confronting Jasmine. He's like, "Can I ask you something?" and accusing her, but like I guess one thing for me with the age there, where people are saying it sounds like an older teen, is I would tend to agree because like everybody's different, but younger developmentally, you tend to be more self-centered and lashing out with insults meant to hurt makes sense, but his focus being like so much on what they did and less about how it affected him didn't ring that true to me. I also felt like we didn't really get a sense of the world beyond the immediate cast. Like, is this affecting him in school? Is that why there was an issue? Or like this kid, like we get this feel at the front. And I would also say that's exposition that we could be shown instead of told. Like if he likes a lot of movies and has this sweet side to him, can we see that somewhere? Like what is he like that they're, besides the lashing out that we see here? I'd also say showing the tape would be more effective. Yeah, too much info about Ernest from dialogue, not enough from Ernest. Especially with him being the main character, I want to see him, like, I want to get to know who he is by seeing how he acts. And I especially don't want to get, like, a summary of him before I get to see him. The sustained rage and, like, the reaction to the tape also does... I'm a little confused by it. Like, I can see him being disturbed and angry, but I also don't quite understand how he ended up at the police station. Like, there's no like counselor involved if he had like a really extreme reaction. Is it just that his parents had weird sex 10 years ago and he just found out, or is there like more going on at home that this revelation has affected? I felt like Miller, you can write characters however you like, but I did feel like Miller played into like racial bias stereotypes with like stock phrases, and I think that's something to keep an eye on. And same note with the exposition, Rojas is telling us things that just aren't shown. So I guess overall, yeah, I'm not super clear on the character or his motivations, but I think there's stuff there that could go. That's all I got.
Thank you, Soupy. Taste of Sorrow, did you have any feedback?
Well, I think most of my issues with this are not necessarily that it is poorly written, that it's strangely written, right? Um, I feel like some of the action lines, they're written in just a kind of odd way that takes away from the experience of reading and it makes it a little difficult to immerse. For example, when describing what's happening on the scene, the word choice of "this is followed" kind of takes me out because I'm like, you know what I mean? It feels like I'm reading a it feels like I'm reading a police transcript. You know what I mean? Of an event that happened instead of reading what is happening. You know, like how for police crimes, if you don't know, they're written in a way that things are objective. There is no subjective. There's no style. It is meant to to be as objective as possible, so you can get the most accurate event what happened. And this kind of feels like that in an odd way that makes it kind of a little difficult to read. Example, during the scene interior front desk of Station Day, it says Wayne, Jasmine, Nelson, and Florence enter and sign in at front desk, which is odd wording for what he's trying to get across. How do they enter? You know, instead of saying enter, what if they say they burst through the door? You know, they sign in frantically. You know what I mean? Like the ink is splattered. It's whatever, you know, to convey. But I don't get a sense of how that happens. You know, and it's a lot of words where it doesn't do much other than just say that they sign in. Um, and that wasn't the biggest distraction for me, but it was something that really that I took notice of. And I will say that I think that some of Ernest's dialogue is kind of odd. Like when he says, "Don't you touch me," which I'm not sure if this is what we're going for, but this reminds me of like it feels like I'm in Texas or Savannah, Georgia, or like we're in the middle of the Midwest because it's like this is Chicago. I wouldn't imagine you know what I mean? It feels the wording is a bit interesting, and it does help me. It kind of pulls me out of the experience when I hear phrasing that just feels a little odd, like it wouldn't be said by this character. And speaking of which, I don't think you get a entirely great idea of what Ernest is beyond what he's described as. Why is he reacting this way to a trashy TV show? You know, if this was one of those scenes, if you've ever watched Maury, if it's one of those things where he was like, where he was revealed like his parents weren't his parents, something like that, something crazy like that, I could get that. It makes sense, but otherwise, it's just odd. It's odd, is what I can really say.
Thank you, Taste of Sorrow. I meant to read this message from Judea out earlier. Judea says, I can stand a kid saying racist shit acting out as long as I understand why, but to also turn around and defend him, call him a good and smart kid, I have no idea if you're trying to get us to understand and sympathize with him. I want to see him actually being a good and smart kid outside of his complete bigotry, IDK. Yeah, thanks for that, Judea. Thank you, Sorrow. I think we
If I
were going
could,
to talk to, what was it?
if I could add something, what exactly did Ernest say that was racist?
Link
I,
these
I'm just, I'm just a
script.
bit confused on that.
Within like the previous
He did it in the script. He mentions beating up an ape.
Yeah.
and he also said, well, bean counter, and also in the last script we read, because I'm sorry that you don't have context. I'm really sorry.
No, it's cool.
He did call Anderson a gorilla, chicken eater, watermelon slurping, etc., etc.
So I guess that's really pretty, but sometimes, Jesus, uh,
He
uh,
said what?
but the thing is, like, sometimes I wonder in a script or in a story. I know we have to be very PC about things, but
I don't think we have to
but
be PC.
we
Like, I'm
don't.
okay
We
with it.
we
I
don't.
just want to
That's what I
know,
like.
like, what is the reason, you know? I just want, like,
Yeah.
there's something behind it instead of just doing it just to do it, you know?
No, it's true. You need the background and the exposition of why this person is like this. Sometimes, depending in the place of the script, but sometimes I do wonder how I guess for in this instance of the script, how racist you can be with a character, right? In the idea of like no, you shouldn't make every character uh so politically correct in a sense, and that like if they were to say the F word, the N word, the C word, or anything, you have to go like that's that character, that's how they act. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter if the reader likes it or not. That's how they are. You have to understand that. So sometimes I do wonder that, like, how offensive you can be with a character.
I think
You
if the
know?
character is meant to be offensive and maybe even seen in the wrong or seen as misguided or something, then I think you can be as offensive as you want, but there is a risk factor of it just being people reading it as only shock value. because you are going so far and trying to push the envelope so far that in the end it loses all of its meaning.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, you're not being overly edgy. There's no reason to be an edgelord, you know. But I think it adds to a character when they're, you know, being offensive in a sense, lack of words, and how someone can be.
Clearly this is like harder to compare. Like, I probably not sensical at all metaphor is like maybe in some like otherwise typical horror movie, like if I spent maybe 20 minutes showing the real-time very graphic butchering of a child, and like I don't know, something like that, and it didn't really add to the narrative at all. I couldn't tell you like what it does for the main character or what it says about the villain that I could not have communicated by just saying he like butchers children like livestock. Does that metaphor make any sense to anyone? Is that even related? Just saying like vulgarity or obscenity like for the sake of it? Like I just wanted to have something to say because I feel like anyone could just slap in a bunch of naughty words and be like, "Oh, look, shock."
Can I interject here? I feel like so in my opinion, all that stuff is part of a writer's style. They might do that stuff as part of just something that they do because they feel like it. They think it's cool or entertaining or etc. Whatever reason, you know. I think that style is substance, but I also think that substance alone has the potential to not be viewed as anything more than what it is on a surface level. So when you have a kid being racist, even if it is just a stylistic choice, you know, for whatever reason, we don't get it story wise. We're gonna take it as like a stylistic choice, and then people are gonna assume whatever given the circumstances. Given that it's a racist child, we don't really know what to think about it, you know. So we're just gonna form whatever opinions, whether that be negative or positive, etc., etc. It's just one of those things that it's like, style may be substance, but people don't know what to make of things oftentimes. So just be prepared for people to not really know how to react. If that's what you want, then go for it. You know, that's your prerogative. It's whatever you want to write. But you know, style as substance is hard to get right. That's all I'm gonna say.
Thanks, Paul. Let's see. Hang on, where were we on that? Did we come back to we went back to someone who had more to say.
It was my turn.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So Ernest doesn't feel like a kid, he feels like a lover. He feels like a jilted lover, as if he just found out his wife was on trash TV talking about having this threesome kind of thing. And I guess I that's the part that's not quite understanding is how his mother's sexual exploits affect him so deeply and personally. Like I don't know, like, or if he goes and if she goes and has sexual exploits, are they going to lose their home? or something. Like, how does her actions in the past that are past, maybe it's still going on, don't know, affecting him? He just found out the information and has this reaction, but like nothing is actually happening. His life would not change one iota if he never found out about this. But everything is kind of exploding. And I think I did have one issue with the dialogue between Anderson and Rojas, I believe, where I believe Anderson asks, he asks, where did he learn to talk like this? And Rojas mentions like comedians, history, stuff like that. This isn't how people talk in those. He's not regurgitating historical quotes or something. He is he's just lashing out with but I don't really know how to say he's just lashing out. So Rojas never answers the question that Anderson asks. He's not asking about Ernest's word choices. He's asking something about the languages and like just the whole viewing of stuff. In which case, the answer would most likely be his parents. And that's a good opportunity to talk about the family, or maybe mention some other issue as to how Rojas got involved with this family or something. And it's like, oh, you don't even know the half of it? Oh, when I was first assigned to this family, blah, blah, blah. But, so that kind of dialogue kind of bugged me because Rojas did not answer Anderson's question. But going back to Ernest's reaction of it just feeling like a lover's reaction versus a son's. And I was waiting for some other kind of deeper issues to come out, that this was just the straw on the camel's back, that this isn't what the video is, not what it was actually about. It's about something more and deeper, and we didn't get that. And I feel like we really need that understanding. We need to know who is Ernest and how he feels about his family in order to understand his reaction and say, yeah, man, Ernest, this sucks and I totally get you. Man, if I were there, I'd be upset too. But we don't. And instead, we're just scratching our head and, oh, look, there's a kid throwing a tantrum. And the result is we don't care about him. We don't even dislike him. He's not likable. He's not dislikable. He's just kind of meh. So give him something to care about. Give him something to care about, and that will help us to care about him. And so then when he has this explosion, we can feel it. We can feel his anger and his rage.
But do you need it at that moment in the script is the idea, right?
You need it before then. You absolutely need it before then.
But doesn't it feel more satisfying like later in the movie or in the script or in the show? We go like, oh, that's why he's being like this.
No. I would say at this point, no. We need to know in the beginning and connect with him. I mentioned this before. Imagine you're just walking down the sidewalk and you see two people going at it, fist fighting. you're not going to take sides of either. You're just going to sit back and be amused or call the cops or intervene. You're not going to care about either of the parties. It's just going to be an event that maybe you're going to go tell your friends about. But I don't want to just see two people fighting. I want to see my friend fighting, and then I go and run up and hold them and hug them to try to calm them down, and we all have a cry together or something. Or I want to take my friend who's been in a fight, and I want to take them and sit down, and we have a discussion, and he's confiding in me all this pain and stuff. That's what I want. I want that emotional connection. I don't want to, oh look, there's two people fighting. Okay, pull out phone, videotape the thing. All right, now it's on social media to watch. I don't want that kind of experience. I want to.
That's what happens in real life, I guess.
Exactly. I don't want to be an audience watching the real life video. I want to be right there in the room sitting with Ernest, or even sitting in Ernest's chair. That's what I want. So that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Willow. Soupy says all the way back up here. That also colors, I don't even know what you're referring to at this point, but it also colors my initial note on Midler's stock dialogue / going aggro intimidation on the 11-year-old to settle him down, I think. While cops are like that in real life, I think both having this kid spit vicious racism and then playing into stereotypes about black masculinity / authority in the story itself by having him lose his temper is a combo that doesn't land / work that well. Soupy says down here, for that convention, you either need to know sympathy for the character up front or make him compellingly unsympathetic until a reveal, but the feelings and goal of the character ought to be clear. Let's see. Zach, did you encapsulate all your thoughts in the text there, or have anything else to add?
All right, were you asking me?
No, I was asking Zach.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Zach says, yeah, you got all your thoughts down. Zach says, think you could fit in a 10-minute break before we start mine. It's fine by me. Like starting now? You guys. Okay, great. Yeah. 25 past the hour, we will start on Zach's script. Go do what you need to do, Zach.
Hey, thank you. Well, thank you for that excellent read. The script is doing exactly what I meant for it to do. Called controversy, called discussion, disagreement. What the hell is wrong with this kid? The last thing I want to do is write a comfortable script where everything is, well, now you know the character and now you can understand it. Yeah, I'm trying to create what the hell's going on here? That's what I want all my scripts to do, is say, what the hell did he say? What the hell was that? Yeah. And then come back next week. Remember, this is TV, not a film. You're not gonna resolve this in 90 minutes. And it goes on and on. So yeah, thank you for an excellent read. You guys nailed it. Thank you for your comments. I am in the rewrite portion of this, as I've told many times, that Ernest needs a story. He's his own episode as opposed to being a B story, and I'm going to definitely. I am doing that right now. That's why I'm not submitting stuff to the script swap. So thank you guys. Yeah, and here's the funny part. Ernest is racist, but he can't stand white people. He's white. he just knows a lot of word vomit. As we call in the classroom, when a kid just is spewing out hateful, spiteful words, they don't even know what they're. Willa was talking about that. Like, they're just throwing out a bunch of words, anything to hurt. If I think it'll hurt you, I'm saying it. This doesn't have a racist bone in his body.
Oh, wow. It's like Logorrhea incarnate. Well, yeah. Let's see. We're on that 10-minute break now. Thank you for sharing, Evil Michael. Looking forward to hearing more from you in the future. I'm going to take
Next
this
week,
moment.
family comes home from the police station. He gets even worse.
Oh boy. Thanks for the timer, Nacho. Need to. We did get like a countdown bot, didn't we? That like I requested we got, and I used
Yeah.
like 4 times, I think, before
It's
I forgot
broken. I just tried it. It's not working.
that. Oh,
Uh-oh.
damn.
He's
So
dead.
sad.
We killed it off.
Countdown bot. But yeah, I'm gonna take this moment to apologize. Joel pointed out that I just straight up didn't give out script coins last time. Don't know how that one got by me. I usually, at the worst, am a bit late. But now I'm very late. And also didn't even know. So, I will get those dispensed quickly as possible in addition to the coins for this read. But I hope none of you are scared to ask me about it. But thank you for not being mad, I guess. Or at least mad in a way that you told me.
Ask about what?
The coins I forgot to give out last table read.
Oh yeah, I was like, are they giving them out, or am I just not saying it, or what?
I'm a fool.
We don't deserve coins this time.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, where's my coins?
So sad. I don't know what happened. Maybe I just went into a fugue state or something. I don't know. But like I checked the little log we have for him. Like, wow, there really is just nothing dating to last week. The last time I gave out coins, because like that Monday, the Monday after last time, I gave them out for animation group, but just, yeah, I'm gonna cover that this time, and also the coins from this time, but yeah, please tell me if I do that. Like, I won't hold it to you as a responsibility, but you don't have to suffer in silence. I'll take this moment to, oh yeah, I did have an important announcement to make. Let me open up the information. Whole spaghetti of informaciano. Hello, Mario. Have any memers in here? Okay, yes. Message in the message. Okay. I'm going to paraphrase, but what I believe this comes down to is we need a co-host for Women's Writers Group, which I believe it takes place Sunday. Let me check. Sometime in the weekend.
Yeah, it is on Sundays. I'm not sure what time it is PST. I think it's 5 p.m. BST. Or 6.
Why isn't it listed? Wait, no, okay, it is. It says it happens at 12 p.m. for me, so that would make it 10 PST.
I know, 9, I think. I thought it was 9. If it's 12...
For Pacific Standard Time, it is 10.
Okay.
And the queer group is at 9 Pacific.
Okay. So yes, Sundays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, we have Women Writers Group. And if anyone is interested in helping the host co-host, then I'll just say you can DM me, and then I can relay the message to the actual host. She came to me.
Nacho, no, maybe. Either one.
Yeah, that too. She just came to me after I hosted week back, I think, and asked if I can find a long-term co-host. So yeah, that's a thing. Would appreciate someone volunteering. No pressure. Glad I got a chance to remember that. Just start writing stuff down on the backs of my eyelids. So excellent at forgetting stuff. I wish I could get paid to forget stuff.
Pay to forget what?
To forget stuff.
Wait, to
That's a
forget what
premise.
though?
Because I'm so good at it. If I could get paid to forget stuff, then I could make a living.
But you wouldn't remember to get paid.
Well, that's sort of a passive role for me. It just has to,
Direct deposit.
and like they would have to specify what they wanted me to forget, and I would forget it. They would say like, this thing is very important, and if you don't want to inconvenience other people, like you better remember to do it. Be like, you got it, and then I could forget it, and they would pay me for forgetting it.
I guess like Severance, right?
So, oh yeah, I haven't seen it, but I saw like a video essay about it.
It's a really good show. I'm waiting on that second season.
It's always interesting to hear shows that like are still in the process of coming out. Used to be that you would get your episode like once a week or whatever, and now just like bam, season, eat it.
I really like Swarm. I don't know if anyone's seen that show. I thought it was pretty good.
I've heard really good things about it, but I haven't seen it yet.
Really fun, really fun. A lot of I feel like it just has fun, you know, with its writing, and that it's not like we can do whatever we want with this character, and it'll make sense, you know. It's a good show. Good show, very dark. But it looks very pretty also.
Well, let's see. Assume Zach is back since you could ask that I'm getting paid to forget.
Is that?
JD's back. Hello, friend.
Oh God.
No. He's back. Aw. Poor Roman.
Have you ever seen Kaiba?
What's that?
It's an anime where people can like download and buy and sell memories. That's your comment reminded me of it.
You'll have to message me that name later because I do have a Crunchyroll subscription if nothing else. So
it's like
I'll make
Total
note of it.
Recall.
Well, no, I wanna come to the script right now, but definitely like give me the rundown later.
Could you put the Kaibo? How do you could you write it down?
Oh sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll throw it in the chat.
All right. The
Oh yeah, you can. This is being recorded. I did start recording a bit late. But you can see the whole of the beginning on YouTube, and I think the whole will be on YouTube, assuming my internet holds out. If not, then we'll post the recorded version on YouTube as well. So yeah.
I haven't watched them yet,
cool.
but I don't want to cringe at my. You guys should
I
watch
listen
them.
to it. I listen to it, and I hear my voice and like ah.
Some scientific reason that we can talk about these things later. Yes, Zach's script, the full-length reading of his TV pilot, Who Blinks First. It's a thriller drama. Logline for the series is the city of Manchester transforms into a battleground as domineering matriarchs and ambitious gang members risk everything against brutal crime bosses and corrupt police officers as they fight for power and influence. I had better lung capacity than I thought I did. And Pilot, logline, as the thought of being betrayed by his best friend eats away at him, a brutal crime boss decides to strike first and ignite the flames that will ultimately lead to war on the streets of Manchester. feedback, we're looking for general thoughts. How do you feel about the characters? Are they easily distinguishable? Would you read episode 2? Content warning for violence, language, and implied sexual acts. Anything to add before we start, Zach?
Enjoy. That's it. That's it. Really, just enjoy.
Ooh, will do. And we had a list somewhere of the major characters, each color encapsulated, because like the different colors like have a bunch of characters in them, but like each of them seem to have what were you gonna say?
I was just wondering how many people do we have, but I think some people's mics are not able to use their mic, right?
Yeah, I think we'll probably just have just enough to
Yeah, we've
get
got
all
8 parts, 8 colours.
Yeah. I was gonna try to recite like the main characters associated with each color, but whatever I was looking at that had that information, I lost it. But guess it'll be fine. But yeah, for anyone who's unfamiliar for how this works, again, you can download the Who Blinks First PDF from Table Reads Info, or you could just watch the PDF stream. And
I don't think it's in there. Well, the coloured version is in there. Is it?
what is the colored version titled?
I do not know. I'm going to upload it.
Okay, thank you. But yeah. Characters in the
You got
different
the coloured
blocks
version.
are
Okay. I don't know. Just because there were 2 coloured versions and one is the right one. So just to be on the safe side, I'm going to re-upload because then I know that one is the right one.
Sorry about that. But yeah, while you do that, I assume all the same colors are still present.
Yeah, colours are still present. I think just a couple of the characters' names were changed.
Well, yeah, we'll deal with any snags we happen to go across. Honestly, most of it's gonna be like tripping up on very mundane words, because there's a lot of action lines generally in these longer scripts. So forgive me if my voice gives out. I think I've gotten better about it. I think I've built up stamina now. But yeah, important information to take away. Whatever thing you're supposed to voice, it is colored the color that you are assigned. It's pretty intuitive. But yeah, I am going to go down the color list now. And if you would like to get that group of characters, just speak up and I will assign you. Situate so I can see everyone. Okay. Yellow characters. Anyone for yellow? It's like, oh, wait, Evil Michael, did you say you wanted any part?
Yeah, sure, any part. Just give me one. You know how I am.
Oh yeah, versatile, all terrain. Gonna give you yellow. Blue characters. Anyone for blue?
I'll take blue.
Did green. Green characters.
I'll take green. Oh no, you can go down.
Yeah. Yeah, Dan, I can give you green and non. How do you say it? Non-Ben, non-Bene.
Non-Benny, but you can just call me Benny.
Okay, I will give you red, Benny.
Okay, bet.
Why do I type the word instead of the username? There we go. Okay. Peach. Anyone for the Peach characters?
Sure, I can.
Oh wait.
Well.
Good. I'm gonna give Peach to Joe.
Okay.
And who else for the
No, we've
part?
got some weird crackling, static thing from your microphone. I'm not sure if that's I don't know, it almost sounds like a loose connection maybe. I'm not sure what that is.
Guess we'll deal with that as it comes.
Yeah.
But Joel, you wanted Peach?
I will take any part you give me.
Okay. Did just hard of hearing. I could easily. Let me cast everyone else now. Orange. Anyone for the orange character?
I'll take orange.
Right. Thank you, Willow. Purple. The penultimate color.
All right.
I'll take purple.
I'm streaming wrong script. I don't think I am. Sorry. Zach saying I'm streaming wrong one.
I'll
Who
take
blinks first? Is that the script?
Yeah, it'll be on my stream. That's 15. That's when I just uploaded. I checked it, and it didn't have the So I'm talking to Zach. It didn't have the fragile man talking. Okay, let me double check.
Okay. Noah, did you say you wanted the purple characters?
Yes, I will.
Oh. We're getting weird staticky buzzing when we talk. I don't know, would that bother anyone if it only happens when
No.
Okay.
Wouldn't bother me. Well, I'm one person, but yeah.
I'm gonna make you the judge, jury, and executioner.
If only the world was like that for real. Me as dictator.
Only everyone listened to you.
Yeah. At least my dog does. I got one species.
Better than like cat obedience. Cats just, yeah. That's why we love them. But thank you, Noah. And finally, who would like pink characters?
I'll take pink.
Thank you, Morgan.
Magenta, my favorite color.
Yeah. Also, yeah, we were talking earlier, like whatever you have like in your head for whatever colors these are, it might just be an approximation of that. We have if anyone steals someone else's line or gets confused about the colors, we will let you know. Assuming I can. I'm not so great with colors either.
You did assign me yellow, is that correct?
Yes, yes. You can all see what parts you received in Table Reads info. Right now I have it. Evil Michael is yellow, Edith is blue, Dan is green, Benny is red, Joel is peach, Willow is orange, Noah is purple, and Morgana is pink. But yeah.
And Noah, we have the blue is a light blue, and the violet is a purple, either a purple or a pink. And the purple and pink are quite different. So you should be good, hopefully.
We'll see. Anyway, let's go ahead. Any snags we run into, we will deal with along the way. Who blinks first? Episode 1, written by Zach Carrot. Interior, Burroughs' house. Living room, night. A framed photo of a young, handsome man in his police uniform adorns the wall. A feather duster sweeps across the frame. Officer Burrough, 78, male, retired copper, dusts the photo, reminisces about better times, and listens to the radio.
Police officer has been arrested on suspicion of murder following the disappearance of a woman in Greater Manchester a week ago.
Burrough cleans other photos, him and his wife on their wedding day, a family portrait with his kids, and a photo of a dog.
What appears to be human remains have been found near Heaton Park. Those remains have not yet been identified.
Loud, furious knocks on the front door startle Burrough. He switches out the radio. He grabs his landline and dials 999. The knocks continue. Burrough lets the phone hang as he creeps towards the door. His old, croaky voice calls out.
Coming. Calm down.
The knocks stop. Burrough opens the door. He's met with a baseball bat to the head. Drops them. He groans in immense pain. Timberland boots step over Burrough and enter the house.
Emergency, what services?
A hand puts the phone down, ends the call. Interior Jackson's BMW X5, parked, same time. Arnold Jackson, 47, white male, specialist firearms officer, slender, intelligent, plays second fiddle in every aspect of life, sits in his car. A voice comes through the radio.
Assistance required, 999. Hang up, no contact was made. Closest officers, please go to 210 Manley Road.
Arnold grabs the radio. That'll be Michael. Your microphone is muted.
Sorry. 219 en route.
He puts the radio back, grabs his phone.
Hey, Google set a 3-minute timer.
Sure. 3 minutes. Starting now.
Stares at the house adjacent. Arnold's point of view, Burroughs' house. A detached house in a suburban area. Through the window, a figure's silhouette swings a bat at something off screen. Interior, Burroughs' house, kitchen, same time. Tea bag and teaspoon in a cup. Milk's poured in. Wherever this is, they make tea like a fucking psychopath. The kettle boils and there's another cup on the counter. A hand grabs a kitchen towel. The towel falls to the ground, blood-stained. Blake Manning, 53, well-dressed, vicious white male with cold, hardened eyes and a black heart. Adds milk to the second cup.
Took me a long time to find you. Couldn't have run away from your family.
The kettle whistles. Blake pours the boiling water into his cup. Squeezes the tea bag with a spoon.
I had no choice but to say yes to the old guy.
He dumps the tea bag into the second cup. Gives it a squeeze. A fucking psychopath. Blake picks up both cups. Interior, Burroughs' house, living room, continuous. He walks around the sofa, places one cup on the table and sips his tea.
You know, there's a real art to making tea, don't you think?
Blake looks down. Burroughs' dead body, face down, full of blood around his head.
I understand that if I wanted you to suffer, you wouldn't be dead.
A knock at the door. Blake looks over, puzzled.
No way, that was 5 minutes.
He opens the door. Arnold stands, surveys the scene, relaxed.
Officer Jackson, come in. You arrived quickly, huh? What happened to 5 minutes?
Arnold enters. Blake goes to close the door.
It open.
Blake obliges.
Waited 5 minutes.
You sure?
Arnold checks out the photos. He picks up one of Burrow in his police uniform.
Blake, agreed. No cops.
Arnold stands with his arms out like WTF. Blake shrugs his shoulders.
Huh? Can't say no to no man's wishes.
Just give me.
Blake walks off, mumbles to himself, looks for the bedroom. Arnold stares silently at the body. A hint of sorrow, possibly. We can't tell. He's got a good poker face. Blake comes back, bed sheet in hand. Arnold snatches it, still annoyed. Arnold rolls up Burroughs' body. He's either really good at making burritos or he's got previous. You guess which one.
Remember, lift with your legs.
Blake walks to one side of the body. Exterior Burroughs' house continuous. Blake and Arnold carry the bedsheet out of the house. One a copper, one a businessman, neither painters. Lucky for them, there aren't any witnesses.
You mad?
Killed a cop.
We killed the cop.
They throw the body in the back seat of the BMW.
Tell me why the old guy wanted him dead?
Blake shakes his head. Arnold shakes his head in disgust, grits his teeth.
Wife wants you dinner tomorrow.
I'll be there.
Arnold enters his Beamer, starts the engine, grabs the radio, and looks directly at Blake.
This is 219. Checked out 210 Manley Road. Officer Burrow butt dialed and up when he realized. All is safe.
Arnold drives away. Blake stares at the car. Split screen. Arnold on the left, Blake on the right. Both stare straight into our souls, neither blinking, not wanting to give an inch, even when they're apart. The most unnerving game of who blinks first ever. We blink and fade out. Interior, Four Fingers Bistro, night. Cozy, intimate atmosphere with simple decor. Jasmine Kirilia, 25, delicate and deadly, batshit crazy, always wears a headscarf as a fashion statement, sits alone. Jasmine's point of view, outside. Pedestrians brave the rain, some with umbrellas. Manchester skyscrapers loom in the background. Four Fingers Bistro. Jasmine twirls her glass of red. She's not perfect, and necks it. Places the glass next to her Gucci handbag. Waiter comes over, carrying a bottle of red.
More wine, man?
She shakes her head.
Will there be anything else?
Are the spicy garlic noodles ready?
She gazes at him.
I'll bring it right out. We'll also comp your meal due to the delay.
Also, Dig, could you play it straight for the script?
Okay.
Thank you. Waiter scurries off. A few diners stare enviously at Jasmine. She fiddles with her phone and takes a picture of the rain. Waiter comes back and places a plastic takeout box on the table, contents wrapped in foil. Spicy garlic noodles.
Thank you.
Jasmine puts the takeout box in her handbag and grabs an umbrella from under the table. Exterior Manchester, Deansgate, continuous. Scroll. Rain lashes Jasmine's umbrella as she walks along the city's main thoroughfare. A mile-long road she comes across. Club bouncer launches a drunk patron out onto the street. Brave man pisses on a parking ticket machine. Homeless person shakes his coin cup at her. She politely shakes her head. She heads up some steps and stares at the railway company's goods warehouse, written in white brick on the upper part of the front wall. We will call this the warehouse. Exterior warehouse, continuous. Jasmine walks through a public pathway adorned with lush greenery. She approaches two behemoths, one bearded, one clean-shaven, who stand guard.
I'm here for Manning.
Takes the takeout box in front of the monsters. Bearded behemoth opens the door. She walks in. Interior warehouse, ground floor, continuous. Repurposed to be a massive shopping mall. Music bangs, kids, teens, and families queue to go into a cinema. Others wait to be seated at the restaurants. Some walk towards an arcade. Jasmine moves towards the escalators. She jumps on and ascends. Interior warehouse, second floor, continuous. Less lively up here, but we hear the lyrics. Empty offices. She walks through and hops on another escalator. Interior warehouse, third floor, continuous. It's now just the beat of the tune. Junkies everywhere, all shooting up. Sketchy as fuck. Jasmine's head swivels like a pendulum as she watches everyone she passes. She clutches the takeout box in her purse as she walks to another escalator. Interior warehouse, top floor, continuous. Ain't no music up here. Armed guards, all huge, bald, angry-looking fuckers, protect four wooden doors. Jasmine steps off the escalator and strolls past them toward the fifth door. Interior warehouse, top floor. Blake's office, continuous. Blake stands in the corner, watches a decorator paint the wall behind his desk. Technician is up a ladder, fixes a camera above the door. Jasmine appears at the door. Blake spots her.
Jasmine, good to see you. Let's go outside.
Blake joins Jasmine. Interior warehouse, top floor, continuous. They stand outside the door.
Could I offer you a cuppa?
She pulls the takeout box out of her handbag.
You got it. Excellent. And I hope you enjoyed the food.
All right.
Blake grabs the box, gives it a shake. The contents rattle.
You want to see inside?
She gives him an exasperated look.
All right. All right. All right.
Blake walks towards door 2.
You stay here.
Guard opens the door. Interior warehouse, top floor, door 2, continuous. Fragile man sits on a pillow. It's cash through a counting machine, surrounded by piles of bills. Blake steps in.
Give me 2 bags of British.
He holds out 2 bags for Blake. Doesn't let go when Blake takes them. Holds Blake's gaze.
The job's done. You won't hear from Barrow again.
Fragile man smiles and relents.
I'll get them to you when you get a cuppa.
Blake shuts the door. Interior warehouse, top floor, continuous. Blake hands the bags to Jasmine. Takes and opens.
Trust, it's 2 grand.
Jasmine looks through regardless. Blake's miffed.
We've been working together for Call you when you're needed, okay? Ah, fuck knows why Arnold keeps her around. Get the old man a cuppa. 2 sugars, leave in the tea bag.
The guard opens the door and Blake steps through. Interior warehouse, top floor, door 3. Blake places the takeout box next to a glass box housing leather biker
We got a
gloves.
fresh one, ladies.
The doctor walks over to Blake and opens the takeout box. He unwraps the foil and picks up a severed finger. Exterior Manchester, Beansgate night. 2 women in skimpy clothes walk arm in arm, unaffected by the rain. Ahead, 3 male youths lean against the wall, shoot the breeze until one points out the women. The youths catcall and make kissy noises. The women cross the street. Let's see. Again. Cross the road to avoid them. One youth takes it personally.
Fucking slugs.
Another youth taps him and points out Jasmine, who walks towards them.
Watch this, bro.
He steps in front of Jasmine.
You come say hi, babe.
Move.
Stay with me.
Jasmine sighs heavily, been here before. She opens her handbag, draws a Glock, cocks it. 2 youths run. Cocky youth freezes in fear.
Go on then. What do you want to play? Scare the little girl? Is that when you're going to give you a hard on?
Cocky youth tries to respond, but stutters. Tangible words are hard to find.
Go on. Speak up.
We was only having harmless fun. We weren't gonna do anything.
You not having fun? Want me to stick my hand down your pants to fondle you?
She trains her gun on the youth's package. He finally unfreezes and steps back.
Look, lady.
You want to get your balls blown off?
Youth shakes his head.
Why are you still here?
He runs off. Jasmine takes a deep breath, suppresses her anger, and continues her walk. Arnold's BMW X5, adorned with blue and yellow police markings, stops beside her, blares its siren.
For fuck's sake.
Arnold steps out of the driver's door, pistol trained on Jasmine as he approaches. Michael?
Hands on your head. Turn around. No sudden movement.
Jasmine follows the command. Arnold tucks his pistol in his waist, handcuffs Jasmine, and pats her down.
Everything in your purse?
Yeah.
Arnold throws her in the backseat of his police SUV. Interior Jackson's BMW X5, parked/driving, continuous. Ella Jackson, 45, a domineering, highly manipulative matriarch with delusions of grandeur, sits in the back. Arnold hops back into the driver's seat and passes Ella Jasmine's purse. He drives away.
Nice to see you, Jasmine. You haven't forgotten about me?
No. It's been a while.
Been a while since you did a job for Blake. How much you pay?
Ella roots through the bag.
Looks like 2 bags.
I got asked to deliver a package.
Nobody paying $2,000 for a normal package like you're the Royal Mail. Blake show you what's inside?
Jasmine shakes her head.
There's a gun in here, too.
Arnold turns around as Ella shows off Jasmine's gun.
Looks like the same weapon that was used to gun down a police officer. It's a good thing Officer Jackson found you and retrieved the murder weapon.
Jasmine scoffs.
Fuck you on this time.
What's Blake's next play?
You think I know that?
Your job is to gather intel and deliver packages. You're supposed to know to know things like this.
He doesn't tell me anything. I get sent a postcard with details for a job. That's all. You act like we're best buds.
Decline the next job.
Can't. Need the money.
We'll pay you more. Decline the next job. We'll double what he offers. Give you Quinn.
That gets Jasmine's attention.
Arnold has seen you on your errands.
You call me, you'll get me Quinn.
When Blake gives you the next job, you call me. Meantime, try not to run away. We know you have previous. Let her out.
Arnold parks up. Exterior Manchester streets continuous. Arnold opens the back door and pulls Jasmine out of the X5. He unshackles her and passes her the purse. Arnold climbs back into the SUV and drives away. Jasmine trudges past houses and a dark cul-de-sac. Peaceful, calm, and quiet. He reaches their house. Interior Jasmine's house, living room, continuous. Beige, minimalistic, barely lived in. Huge whiteboard on one wall with dozens of photos of a young red-headed woman, all from different angles. This is Quinn. Jasmine enters and looks at the photos, happiness and sadness in her eyes. Getting some feedback from your mic, Michael. Jasmine enters and looks at the photos, happiness and sadness in her eyes. She caresses a photo of Quinn's face.
I'll see you soon.
Furniture clatters, a bang, a thud. Jasmine looks at the ceiling. Someone else in her house? She rushes towards a door at the end of the room, opens it. Interior Jasmine's house, kitchen, continuous. Jasmine lines her eye up with a tiny camera attached to a store cupboard. Lasers flash. It's a retina scanner. Beep.
Welcome, Jasmine Caralia.
A lock clicks. She opens the door to reveal a mini arms factory. Locks, CIG sour pistols, submachine guns, rifles, batons, boxes of ammo. She's prepped for war. She grabs a Glock, closes the cupboard. Interior Jasmine's house, landing, continuous. She creeps up the stairs, Glock trained, reaches the landing and flicks the light switch. 3 bedrooms. Moves towards the main one, kicks the door open. Interior Jasmine's house, main bedroom, continuous. Rushes in. Overturned furniture, broken window, pieces of glass on the floor. No other person visible. Behind her, man mammoth with the grace of a ballerina creeps forward. He bear hugs her and lifts her off the ground, slams her to the floor. He stamps on her hand with his humongous size 15 shoe. She winces in pain. The mammoth picks her up like he's lifting a burger off a plate and flings her against the wall. Jasmine hits the wall hard and drops to the floor, groans in pain, reaches for her ankle. Mammoth bends over to pick up the Glock. Jasmine jumps on him, plunges a knife into his back. Mammoth grunts like a bull, but stays upright. She stabs him again and again, again. Blood covers her. The mammoth drops to a knee. Jasmine keeps stabbing as adrenaline takes over.
Who fucking sent you?
He tumbles over, sends shockwaves around the room. Jasmine huddles against the wall, panting heavily, stares at the dead body.
Fuck.
Closes her eyes, calms her breathing. Interior snooker club. Night. Horatio Jackson, 22, son of Arnold and Ella. Wet behind the ears, deep-seated insecurities masked by fake bravado. Saunters around a table, pots reds and blacks before he loses position and plays a safety shot. Smacks the table in anger and stands to the side. He huffs, puffs, and looks annoyed as his opponent clears the table. Horatio walks over and extends his hand.
Good game.
The two shake hands as Horatio walks to the bar, where a manager casts an eye over every table.
Not been your year, boy.
Don't get back into the groove.
Very quiet, Joe.
Need time for the hand to heal.
I'm gonna try
Been
that,
6
Joe.
months. It's sealed, but it's all up here, isn't it?
That's good. Taps his head, pulls up his chain to reveal a police badge.
I'll put the drinks on the house.
You're a good one. Let's get back to the night shift.
Horatio heads for the door, gives evils to the other players. Exterior Manchester, streets, night. Horatio acts protector as he strolls. You can almost smell the Axe body spray. He whistles the iconic theme of the good, the bad, and the ugly, but horribly out of tune. A singular firework overhead. He shits himself and looks for the source. He walks past an alleyway, spots two guys set up another firework, walks towards them. Exterior Manchester alleyway, continuous. Chubby dealer and skinny dealers, male, puffer jackets and joggers, let off a firework. Crate of pineapples beside them. Beautiful flash of light overhead. Ear-shattering bang. Horatio comes over, ears covered.
What the fuck you two doing?
Dealers look back at Horatio, spot the flashy police badge, and hightail it.
Stop.
Skinny dealer runs past chubby dealer.
I wanna buy.
Skinny dealer puts on the brakes, looks back, dodges chubby dealer who falls forward and rolls across the cold tarmac. I think that's Noah.
Yes. Get up, dickhead.
Skinny dealer walks up to Horatio.
Who says we're even selling, officer?
Officer Jackson. Horatio Jackson.
Double rate for
Skinny dealer looks back as chubby dealer tries to lift himself off the pavement.
Yo, I got it. Never meant to make your daughter cry. I apologize a trillion times. You heard fat boy, double rates.
Horatio tucks his police bag inside his shirt.
I'm not a cop anymore. Just a normal dude who's curious.
Chubby dealer uses the wall to prop himself, heavily out of breath. Most exercise the fat man's had in years. Skinny dealer grabs a pineapple, gives it a good slap.
Fine shit in Manchester.
Horatio inspects the fruit, puzzled.
4 bags.
200 for normal folk.
He stares at the pineapple, not sure what to do.
Give it us.
Skinny dealer grabs the pineapple, pulls out a machete hidden in his pants, and slices the fruit. Shows Horatio. Horatio's point of view, the pineapple. A couple of grams of cocaine inside. Alleyway. Horatio's impressed.
4 grams.
Horatio does some quick maths.
50 quid for people on the street. Too expensive, bro.
Hands the pineapple back.
I know a cheaper supplier.
He walks away, gets back to whistling his horrific rendition, leaving the dealers worried.
Ooh, for the supplier.
Horatio leaves the alley. Chubby dealer pulls out a phone.
We gotta tell the boss.
Chubby dials a number, puts the phone to his ear.
Miss Manning, sir, we've got an issue. Another supplier. What was his name?
Skinny wraps his brains, uses his last 2 cells. Noah, your mic is muted.
Yeah. Sorry. Here. Here. Officer. Here. Officer. I'm for real. Officer Jackson.
Officer Jackson. Manning, sir. Young.
We go to interior Jackson house, main bedroom, night. Arnold strips down to his tidy whities, gazes out the window at the skyline. Ella moisturizes her arms in bed.
You think this is Blake's first power move? No telling you why he killed that officer. You need to find out, Arnold.
Family business.
He said that in the past, and we got the information from it. Be a bit more forceful. You're partners, Arnold. Blake needs to treat you like one.
Arnold gets into bed.
Have you been tracking Horatio?
Night shift for the next week. He's happy being.
It's dangerous. Get him back behind the desk.
Stifling the boy.
I'm his mother. I'll do what I want to make sure he survives in this shithole.
Her hands move under the covers as Arnold closes his eyes and concentrates. She gives him a hand job.
And I'm your wife. Your partner in life. When I say Blake is about to make a move, listen. We've worked too hard, committed too many sins to turn back. I want Manchester.
Ella tugs away. Arnold's face is full of pleasure, enjoys every moment. Ella, emotionless. Not foreplay, power play. Exterior Manchester, canal, continuous. Jasmine pushes a lumpy bed sheet into a canal. It immediately sinks.
The influence.
Puffs her cheeks and exhales loudly as she walks away. Exterior Manchester, streets, continuous. Horatio snorts a line of cocaine off a postbox.
The money.
He stumbles away, high as a fucking kite. Interior Blake's penthouse, balcony, continuous. Blake practices his golf swing, sends a ball flying into the night sky.
The power.
He lines up another golf ball. Interior Jackson house, main bedroom, continuous. Ella's stoic, focused, keeps tugging, but her mind is elsewhere. Arnold moans and groans.
I want it all.
He releases an ungodly-like sound of pure ecstasy. Interior police station, reception, day. Digital clock on the reception desk, 6:06 a.m. Arnold enters in his police uniform. CCTV cameras watch his every step as he signs in and taps the key code to open the police entrance. He steps through. Interior police station, bullpen, continuous. A couple of officers round up their night shift. One of them is Horatio. He spots Arnold walk in and goes over.
Alright, old man. Nice to see you bright and early.
Got the early shifts this week. Keeping out of trouble?
As much as I can. You know how inside some cities at night. So many murders, so many robberies.
Busy then.
Not a single perp on the walk around. Did get in some extracurricular activities though.
Horatio winks at his father.
You know, the powder type.
He chuckles. Arnold's not amused.
Yeah? Told your mother you didn't do that anymore. You know if you get found out.
If you get found out, you know what happens.
Arnold's not pleased with his son's insinuation.
Couple minutes and then I'm off.
Arnold gets in close to his son, so no one else can hear.
Stay the fuck. My business.
Until you include me. I want in.
Arnold shakes his head. Horatio shakes his head in disgust and walks away. Later, packed with officers going about their business, Arnold fills in a form at his desk. The superior officer comes over.
Officer Jackson, how are we today?
Arnold looks up.
Doing all right, ma'am. Just completing documents on one of the arrests yesterday. Street-level drug pusher.
Good, good. Anyway, I need you to come with me.
Arnold puts down the pen.
Everything all right?
Just a few questions about your vehicle. Come with me.
Superior officer walks away. Arnold follows. Interior police station, interview room, day. Superior officer sits with an HR admin. Arnold's on the other side of the desk, puzzled. An informal interview, for now.
Problem with the GPS?
All vehicles are tracked. Let us request certain teams attend close by scenes. Just a safety issue.
There's a problem with mine.
HR admin passes superior officer a piece of paper.
See, look here. You attended a call at 210 Manley Road yesterday, but the GPS shows you were at your house all day. You were on shift, right?
Arnold senses the leading question.
All day. Could have hit a pothole or something. He's full of them. Where you go?
Lie told with such calmness.
This is why I wanted to talk to you. Just let you know that we'll need to fix the car. We're just under so much scrutiny right now. I'm glad you understand, Arnold. Between the three of us, there's a lot of corruption in the police force right now. Must be hundreds of officers around the country that should be thrown out. We need to be sure we dot our I's and cross our T's. and that we're squeaky clean with everything.
I agree completely. Just want to top up their bank balances rather than serve and protect.
Literal ice in his veins as he's met with agreeing nods.
If that's all, I got a paperwork done.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for clearing things up.
Anytime.
Arnold stands and heads for the door, now smiles. Interior hair salon, styling area day. Ella sits at the front desk as three women, all in various stages of haircut, mindlessly scroll through their phones. Each woman has their own hairdresser. There's a door to the back room behind the woman furthest away from Ella. Oh. The door opens. Horatio emerges from the back room. You catch a glimpse of women carrying coconuts before he shuts the door. He walks over to Ella.
All looks good in here, Mum. This was such a great idea, becoming much bigger than you first imagined.
I told you this would work. Just need more pushers on the street.
Dad said you were worried about me.
He takes a seat opposite Ella.
Concerned more than worried. Are the streets really safe at night?
They are when I'm walking them.
Chuckles at his own ego.
Just be careful. Blake's hiding things from your... Got to protect our business.
Have you told Dad?
She shakes her head.
We tell him and it'll kill the project. Need to be silent to take over Blake's territory.
You cut out just a bit there.
Oh, where'd I stop?
It was just as you finish your line. I think you're good now.
Okay.
A fourth woman carries a crate of coconuts out of the back room. She saunters past the other women and hairdressers.
Sell those near the print works. Booming fruit market. Lots of buyers.
I'll accompany you. Be the muscle. I'll see you at home, Mum.
Horatio opens the door as the fourth woman walks out, being careful not to drop the coconuts. Interior warehouse, top floor, door 2, day. Blake furiously paces from one wall to another as he watches Fragile Man count cash.
You know when you can't get something out of your head and it eats and eats away at you? I know Arlen didn't count right, but I don't know why. I didn't count 5 minutes. I barely counted 2, 3 at most. But it was not 5 minutes.
Fragile Man doesn't respond. Does his job. Blake speeds up.
Because if it was 5 minutes, then I'm getting slower, right? And that's how time works. Like, you kill a man in 2 minutes when you were 20, and it takes 3 minutes when you're 40, and I'm already 50. But you know I'm not old, and I'm positive Arnold's not counted wrong.
Lets out an exasperated roar. Seconds away from tearing his hair out, Fragile Man stays quiet, continues his daily grind.
There was only some way to prove it. I'll smart this bastard for once, and then...
He trails off, stops pacing, and stares at Fragile Man with a look of sadness.
How long we known each other?
Fragile Man doesn't look interested.
And you've always been there when I needed advice. A helping hand. Someone to soundboard ideas with.
No response.
There was a time you helped me at the kids' plaything with my daughter. And no clue what I was doing as a single father. And then there was you. Helped me write her wedding speech.
Blake chokes up.
You've always been there for me. Ever since my old man passed. Look at you. In here. Counting all this cash. I treated you well.
No reply.
Why aren't you fucking answering? Fucking say something.
Silence. Deafening silence. Blake launches himself towards Fragile Man, grabs the old man by his collar, and drags him towards the door. Fragile Man kicks and scratches, but Blake's too strong. Blake opens the door. Interior warehouse, top floor, continuous. Drags Fragile Man out of door 2, towards door 4.
Someone put on a 5-minute timer.
Armed guard opens door 4. Interior warehouse, top floor, door 4, continuous. Square room with only a mattress and a baseball bat on the floor. Blake drags Fragile Man inside and grabs the bat. Blake raises the bat, hesitates for a second, and then smashes Fragile Man with the force of 1,000 storms. Blake beats the shit out of Fragile Man, too horrific for us to watch. Blood splats on the wall. Screams and thuds are all we hear. Interior, Midland Hotel. Room, same time. Jasmine uses binoculars to stare out of a window. Notepad and pen on the floor, alongside several photos of Quinn. Jasmine's point of view, Manchester's Central Convention Complex. Directly across from Jasmine's hotel is the Manchester Complex Centre, an old railway station. Outside the entrance, a dozen runners warm up for their mid-afternoon jog. One of them is Quinn Hannigan, 224, intelligent bare-knuckled boxer, the right blend of brains and brawn. Just as the woman Jasmine's stalking, observing, whatever you want. You call it, it's creepy. As they continue their warm-up, we go back to room. Jasmine opens her notepad, pages and pages of dates, times, and locations. She checks her phone. Even her phone wallpaper is a photo of Quinn. Obsessed. She writes down the details, goes back to stalking. Interior Jackson's BMW X5. Driving, same time. Arnold drives. He opens the glove compartment and fiddles around. Grabs a Nokia 110, still in its plastic packaging. He steers one-handed, unwraps the phone with his other hand and turns it on. Arnold searches his car's touchscreen infotainment system to find Jasmine Corollia. Her name appears on the display unit. He dials the number into the burner phone. Split screen. Arnold on the left, Jasmine on the right. Jasmine's phone rings. Caller ID, withheld number. He sends it to voicemail and gets back to watching the window.
Jasmine, it's Arnold. Problem with the car tracker. You need to fix ASAP. Ring me when you hear this so I can come around.
He hangs up, worried. Interior warehouse, top floor, same time. Armed guard outside door 4 checks his stopwatch. Seconds away from 5 minutes. Silence behind the door. Stopwatch beeps. Armed guard knocks on the door. Blake opens it.
Show me.
Armed guard shows him his watch. Timer's in negative numbers.
I knew he was lying, the fucking bastard.
Blake exit. We catch a glimpse of the blood-soaked room as he slams the door shut, but not a drop on him.
2 jobs. Number 1, get the old man cremated. Bring me the ashes. Number 2, bring me Arnold. No. Bring me his son, Horatio.
He walks towards his office. Interior warehouse, top floor. Blake's office continuous. Technician cleans the webcam above the door. Blake enters.
What were you up to?
All set, Mr. Manning, sir.
Blake sits at his desk.
When she opens the app on her phone, she'll be able to see everything in the office. It's also voice activated. Say her name, and the camera will send her a notification. It will light up red when she's watching.
So,
Mind the time difference, sir. We're 8 hours ahead in body, so you don't want to be waking her up.
Blake chuckles.
got that right. She hated being woken up even as a baby. Always wanted me to wake her up in time. I'll test it later.
Let me know if it doesn't work, and I'll do some more tests. But everything is working from our side.
Technician leaves. Blake lovingly smiles to the webcam, the closest thing he's got to a personal relationship. Interior Frontier nightclub, Cuba's office, day. Oval office in a darkened area of a nightclub. Cuba Kingston, 37, Jamaican, white-collar criminal, looks sketchy in a suit, sits at his desk, flanked by 2 Rottweilers, cuddly from a distance. Ella sits opposite, sips coffee.
The dogs are cute, but they have cute names too.
Mexican Jackson.
Dogs look back.
You won't bite, friendly.
The dogs smile. Razor-sharp teeth drool. Friendly.
Where's Officer Jackson?
He doesn't need to be here.
So go on. Why'd you want this?
A couple of months back, I went to one of those fortune tellers, tarot reader, psychics, and they told me a change in my fortune is coming.
Cuba nods. Sure they did.
And when I asked them what sort of fortune, they said to look for a black man whose name lives in the stars.
He's confused.
And you thought that meant me?
Well, isn't it obvious? You're black, aren't you? You live amongst the stars every night. Cuba. Frontier.
You know, psychics just feed you some mumbo jumbo crap that they want you to believe. That you want you to believe?
There you go. Ella puts her coffee down and pats Max.
Funny creatures, dogs. They're violent when you're nervous, but when you're calm, melt in your.
She scratches Jason. Cuba's dog's tamed. She sits on his desk.
What do you really want? I've got to open up in 10 minutes.
The change is coming. Decide what side you want to be on.
What are the options? What are my options?
My side. Or the wrong side.
Is this not the same side?
She grabs his face and gives him a huge, wet kiss. Cuba's taken aback as Ella gets up and leaves. He wipes the drool off his lips, staring at the door, skeptical. Interior, Jasmine's house, living room, night. Jasmine stares at the whiteboard full of Quinn's photos. She nibbles on a pen, contemplating. She charges the board, removes all the photos, and writes. She obscures our view of the board. Jasmine finally steps back. A look of relief on her face. You see the board. Quinn will be mine. Written over and over, doing lines in attention. Interior Frontier nightclub. Dance floor, night. The most beautiful nightclub you've ever seen. Frontier is more than just a name. It's a style. Space. Planets, stars, galaxies. Maybe Ella's psychic wasn't a complete nut. DJ pumps out loud R&B music. Lovers dance, drinks flow. They're having the best night of their lives. Bouncers circle the dance floor, keep tabs on everyone. Pretty women, black, blonde, redheads, scattered throughout, shake their money makers. Every guy wants a piece of them. Redhead grinds up against a blonde dude, his hands all over her ass. She turns around and gives him a kiss, pulls him by his collar towards the bar. Bartender comes over.
I want half a pineapple.
He nods, understands the order. Bartender pulls a pineapple from under the counter, uses a butcher's knife to slice the fruit in half, hands the bottom half to the blonde dude. Blonde dude and redhead disappear into the crowd with their cut fruit as we go to the Interior Frontier nightclub VIP section, continuous. Music's not as loud. More seats, more relaxed. Skimpy waitresses serve high-profile guests trays of gourmet food, wine, and bottom halves of pineapples. Quinn sits on her own in the corner, surveying the guests. Rolled up joints, Corona bottles, and a walkie-talkie on her table. She's too shabby for that fancy shit. Cuba comes over, sits with her. The orange.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. I didn't realize. What we saying?
Got a visit from Allie Jackson earlier.
Yeah?
Say some real shit's about to go down. Want to know what side we are on?
Blonde waitress comes over with a tray of gourmet food and puts it in front of Cuba. She turns to go. He grabs her arm.
Sit with us, babe. I need a little stress relief.
Lynn shakes her head, disgusted. Not this shit again. Blonde waitress tries to pull away. Cuba tightens his grip.
I told you to wait a second out. Okay, thank you. I told you to sit with me. I told you to sit with me. I'm the only one who pays you wage. So when I say something, so you do it.
Let her go, Cuba.
Cuba stares down Quinn. He wants his fun.
I told you to let her go, so do it. Don't fuck me about.
He relents. The blonde waitress thanks Quinn with a nod before she hurriedly leaves.
What the fuck is that?
We're in the middle of business, bro. You want pussy? Go get it later. It's live. Stick to business. Get back to Ella. What's the cops with her? Oh, the cops with her?
Roll me a joint.
Power play by Cuba. Quinn looks at him like he's an idiot.
You fucking blind, bruv? Joint's all in front of you, and you want me to roll you one?
Dickhead. Pack it. Don't want one anyway.
Both are pissed off. Eventually, Cuba grabs a joint, lights it up, and takes a puff.
Nah, she was on her own.
Through the music, we hear,
Now recording.
oh God.
Goodness. Oh good. Oh goodness, why?
Do we want that? Is that good?
Fine. Why? Why do we want that? A second, I have to.
Is this
What hell?
It's good. It's alright. Sorry.
That's why. Okay,
Why we want? Why we did?
we're fine, everyone. We're fine.
Anyway,
Through the music, we hear. You're dead.
Quinn!
Quinn looks around. She hears it too.
Oh, fuck. Give us a sec.
She grabs the walkie-talkie and heads towards the sound.
Quinn, where are you?
Quinn looks over the railing towards the dance floor. Quinn's point of view, dance floor. Amongst all the clubbers, one sticks out like a sore thumb. Jasmine, who's not dressed for a nightclub. Jasmine spots Quinn, waves.
Quinn.
Jasmine gestures at Quinn to come down here. VIP section. Quinn sighs, pissed off.
Guys, I told you not to let her in. Look for a woman in black turtleneck. The one shouting my name. Snatch her and throw her out.
Interior Frontier nightclub, dance floor, continuous. Jasmine jumps up and down, waves her arms, until Quinn moves away from the railing. Sadness spreads across Jasmine's face. Behind her, a bouncer rushes out to the dance floor, tackles her to the ground. Clubbers scream and run. Jasmine reaches for something beside her boots. Bouncer picks up Jasmine by her hair, strong enough to hold her off the ground. She pulls out a knife and slashes his throat. Blood squirts everywhere. He drops her, tries to stop the bleeding. Nearby clubbers freak out at the sight of blood, make a beeline for the exit. The DJ jumps out of their booth. Another bouncer tackles Jasmine from behind.
Quinn, help me!
Her face bounces off the dance floor, draws blood. The knife clatters out of her hand and out of reach. The second bouncer smashes her face on the ground, fucks up her nose. Third bouncer comes in and grabs Jasmine's legs. They lift her off the ground and carry her past escaping clubbers on their way to the exit. She squirms around.
Quinn, the cupcake, Quinn, the cupcake!
Quinn watches from the VIP section. Exterior, Frontier nightclub, continuous. Fleeing clubbers get hit with the Manchester rain. Bouncers emerge of the crowd and chuck Jasmine out of the club, onto the cold, wet ground, full of annoyance. Interior, Frontier nightclub, VIP section, continuous. It's all quiet as clubbers continue to exit and VIP guests make their way down the stairs. Cuba stands beside the railing, watching his money leave, shakes his head. He walks over to Quinn, got a 1,000-yard stare, anger and embarrassment etched on her face.
You gotta do something about her.
The fuck can I do? You tell me. I've told her I don't want to know her. I've told her to leave me the fuck alone. I've told her and told her and told her, and she ain't listening. Is she?
Cuba hands Quinn a joint, lights it up for her. He takes a puff, exhales.
I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to.
We're cool, bro. You got a psycho bitch stalker. It happened.
A long, awkward silence. Quinn, helpless.
So, what's the plan? What we gonna do about Ella?
I'm not sure yet. I got shipments.
Alright.
I'm not sure yet. I got a shipment coming in tonight from Liverpool. Finally, some imports are all the way from Detroit.
Listen, yeah, I got an idea.
Cuba smiles.
Oh yeah, you got a plan?
Plans. Elite planner I am.
Go on then.
We stockpile. Not just the guns, the fruit too.
He was intrigued.
Give Ella a few guns. Just enough for protection. Scroll. Agree to pushing her product.
Good one.
Agree to pushing her product in here. But keep the fruit to the side. Let them kill themselves. Then when we come in, big guns and shit, and finish it. We're on top.
He was impressed.
Not a bad idea.
Smartest motherfucker in the shit.
They fist bump. Interior police station, bullpen. Horatio, all alone, searches through a pile of papers. He finds the document and goes over to the scanner. 2 male coppers, little and large, barge through the doors and walk over to Horatio, get into his personal space.
Yeah.
Just some less notes. Jay asked me to make a copy of them and put it on her desk.
That's no,
Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That sounds.
DI.
Wait a second. What is that? Yeah. DI needs to do it himself. DI needs to do it himself.
Yeah,
Anyway, we
with
need a
what?
bit of help.
We've got this case. Could do with a fresh pair of eyes.
Come, walk with us, and we'll talk through the case. See it if you can find any angles we haven't explored.
Alright, let me just sort this out.
large copper grabs Horatio's arm, squeezes it.
With what?
Little copper shoves a pistol into Horatio's back.
Don't say a fucking word.
Large copper drags Horatio towards the door. Large copper opens the door and takes Horatio out of the bullpen. Little copper follows them. Exterior police station, continuous. Large copper rushes over to a parked Ford Focus, emblazoned with police colors. He gets inside, starts the engine. You guys hear my dad?
No.
He's blowing his nose in his ears. He gets inside, starts the engine. Little copper marches Horatio out of the police station at gunpoint, moves him toward the car. Little copper opens the back doors, pushes Horatio inside, bounces his head off the frame, and slams the door shut. The copper rushes around the car and gets into the passenger side. The Ford Focus roars away. Interior, Jackson House, dining room, night. Ella, Arnold, and Blake silently tucking a cheesecake at the dining table. Palpable tension in the air. Ella grinds her teeth. After what feels like minutes. Heated.
You got a night shift this week.
The dreaded night shift. You remember when you used to do that?
Arnold nods, reminiscing.
Yeah, of course you do. Much simpler times.
About 20 years ago now, we all started all this.
This all started way before then. Me and Arnold. Here.
Blake puts his arm over Arnold's shoulder. Arnold shivers, doesn't like being touched unless it's a hand job.
We're bound for yeah, we're bound for life by an unbreakable bond. I was even in the hospital when he was born.
Ella stares at Blake, burning a hole in his head, decides to feign interest.
Really?
That mother was in delivery with my mom.
Arnold and I were destined to be partners way before we were born. We came into this world together, and we'll leave together. It's destiny.
Ella scoffs loudly.
You don't seriously believe that, do you?
Arnold gives her a dirty look. Ella takes offense.
What? You weren't born together. Blake's older than you. He might have been in the hospital when you were born, but I can guarantee there was probably also 100, maybe even 200 other people. Hell, we'll have a stronger bond in the stars with someone born a few minutes before or after you than your mom's friend's son.
The men are taken aback. What the fuck do they expect?
Making a scene, love. Relax.
She's even more pissed off.
I'm making a scene? I'm making a scene? I cooked you ungrateful bastards a 3-course meal.
Blake rolls his eyes.
And you could barely mutter a thank you, let alone involve me in the conversation.
Hey, look. Well, I'm sorry for excluding you, sweetheart. What would you like to talk about?
You really want to know?
Arnold puts his head in his hands.
Not this again.
Yes, this again. He needs to answer.
Answer for what?
He scrolled down a little. Why'd you kill that copper? What was such a big secret that you couldn't tell Arnold? You couldn't tell me? You're spouting off about this unbreakable bond, but when it comes to the real shit, you don't speak up. Speak up, Blake. Speak up. Speak the fuck up.
Blake fiddles with his cuffs, unsure whether to spill. The Arnold stare intently, waiting. An age of silence passes. Blake's phone rings. Saved by the bell. He takes it out of his pocket and answers.
Yeah? Yeah,
His eyes widen.
right. I'll be over there. Don't do anything until I get there.
He ends the call, gets up in a rush.
You're wrong.
Golf. I gotta get going.
Blake rushes out of the room.
Did he just say golf? Fucking golf?
Ella throws her plate across the room, shatters it.
Clean that up!
Arnold shakes his head at her, annoyed. Interior Jasmine's house, living room, night. Jasmine sits on the floor, battered and bloody. Looks like a broken nose, but she doesn't care as she watches a countdown timer on the TV. There's 59 seconds left. There's a plain cupcake, a candle, and a box of matches on her coffee table. 53 seconds left. She jabs the candle into the cupcake. 47 seconds. Jasmine opens the box of matches, lights on and puts the flame to the candle. Watches the match to put out the light. Waves the match to put out the light. 38 seconds. She picks up the cupcake and eagerly looks at the TV, waiting for the timer to strike 0. 31 seconds. The flame burns brightly in her eye. 27 seconds. TV screen shows the timer. 3, 2, 1. Happy birthday. Then it goes black. Photos of Jasmine and Quinn together as a couple appear on the TV. First date, second date, first house, engaged, happier times. Then, a photo of Jasmine, Quinn, and a third woman, all dressed in party gear, appears on screen. Tears stream down her face as she sings.
Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday, dear Jasmine. Happy birthday.
She weakly blows out the candle. Loud sobs. More and more photos on the TV. Some of Jasmine and Quinn, some of Jasmine, Quinn, and the third woman. Loud knocks. Jasmine moves her head towards the window. More knocks. She shuts off the TV, goes over to the window and checks outside. Jasmine's point of view, outside the house. Arnold. Exterior, Jasmine's house, continuous. Arnold shivers in the cold, his X5 behind him. Jasmine opens the door.
All right there.
What do you want?
Crying?
Have hay fever. Why are you here?
Voicemail. Said it was coming tonight.
Didn't get a chance to listen.
Car's GPS needs fixing.
Can't wait till tomorrow.
She goes to shut the door. Arnold jams his foot in the gap.
Oh, can't! Her brass is already sniffing around. You need to fix it now.
He holds up his car keys.
Fuck's sake, man.
She relents, grabs them, and walks to the X5.
Location just staying at my house.
Have you been following the app?
Jasmine gets into the car. Arnold walks over to her, stays outside as she starts the engine.
You're supposed to input a fake route every time you're on the move, so it follows the map rather than the car. If you don't put in a route, it'll think you're at home.
A police car pulls up on the street with its lights flashing. Arnold spots them.
Here comes trouble.
2 coppers, bald and glasses, step out.
You done now?
What?
Jasmine looks out of the X5 as the coppers walk towards them.
Do me an IOU, please.
She closes the car door, locks herself in. The coppers show Arnold their badges.
Can I help you, officer?
Responding to the dispatch call from Jasmine Carolia. Armed and dangerous.
Glasses copper reaches for his cuffs.
Sorry, guys. Looks like I beat you to it. Literally called it into my dispatch 30 seconds ago. Got the same call, and I'm an old friend of hers. Thought I'd...
Coppers don't buy it.
Back into your patroller and man the street. Not getting...
Okay.
You sure you got this one?
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
I got this. Don't worry about it, boys. It's on me. I get back at the station. I ain't distracted for not letting you know how quick enough.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Both of them. Bald copper backs away. Glasses copper slowly follows, unsure. They get back into their car, eyeing Arnold the whole time. Drive away. Jasmine opens the X5.
Did you do?
Went looking for Quinn and had a bit of trouble, let's say. Not my fault someone wanted to throw hands.
Arnold's phone rings. He checks it. Wife. He motions to Jasmine to give him a second. Answers.
Yes,
He hangs
dear.
up, a worried look on his face. Jasmine notices.
Everything okay?
You track Horatio's phone?
Jasmine nods. Interior abandoned post office, night. Glass shattered counters. Broken photo booth. Large copper slams a bloody and battered Horatio onto the counter. Little copper handcuffs him onto the poles. Spreads him out like Jesus on the cross. Blake appears from behind the counter.
Officer Horatio Jackson.
Horatio searches for the sound, tries to free himself.
I've been told you know another supplier. Someone who wants to step up and challenge me.
You motherfucker. When my mom finds out.
You want to fuck all, the fucking bitch. No good cocksucker.
Large copper appears behind the counter with bolt cutters.
Normally, I'd give you the chance to give me a name. But fuck that.
You fucking piece of shit. I swear to God.
Large copper rips into Horatio's middle finger with the bolt cutters. Horatio lets out an ungodly scream. The bone cracks.
Ah, shit. Your parents brought this on.
The blades tear into Horatio's skin. Blood fucking everywhere. Ear-piercing screams. Horatio kicks his legs, tries to free himself. Large copper pulls on the cutters. Horatio screams louder. Horatio's in tears. His scream haunts the soul. Lick stands over his shoulder. Enjoys his adversary's suffering. The middle finger rips away from the skin. Large copper hoists the cutters into the air like he's lifting the Vince Lombardi trophy. Horatio hyperventilates, his body on the verge of shock. Blake walks around the counter and stands in front of Horatio. The rookie's too weak to
It's
do
his
anything.
business, son. Blame your parents.
He turns and walks away.
Take the other finger, too.
Large copper digs the bolt cutters into Horatio's other middle finger. Horatio's harrowing screams return. Interior hair salon, back room, same time. Ella proudly watches dozens of women work across an assembly line, building her drug empire. Woman number 1 cooks cocaine powder with baking soda. Woman number 2 breaks the cooked powder into rocks. Woman number 3 places the rocks inside coconuts. Interior gym, same time. Quinn stands beside an open locker, tapes up her hands. There's a group photo of Quinn, Jasmine, and the same third woman from Jasmine's photo gallery on a boat, dressed in party gear, taped to the inside of the locker door. She pumps her fists and strolls over to a punch bag. The entire gym is empty. Quinn, on her own, in her element. She jabs the punch bag, does an Ali shuffle and throws another jab, circles the punch bag. Jab, jab, jab. Quinn works the punch bag. Her form and power are exquisite. She knows how to fight. She puts all her power into each punch, works up a sweat as she lets out anger, confusion, emotions. Exterior Manchester, Mancunian Way, same time. A big rigged truck is parked on one of Manchester's famous roads right under the Holme Arch Bridge. Huge skyscrapers dominate the city's skyline. Hooded youths pass boxes from inside the truck to waiting Range Rovers parked behind, their own assembly line. Youths place boxes inside the closest Range Rover until it can't hold any more. The first Range Rover drives away as the whole queue moves forward like a taxi rank. Boxes are placed inside the second range as Cuba comes over and opens one of them. Guns and ammo. He closes the box, shuts the car door, and taps the driver's window. The second range drives away, and the queue advances. There are still half a dozen Range Rovers waiting. Exterior, abandoned post office, night. Silent. Boarded up windows. Graffitied shutter. Arnold's X5 parks outside. He exits the driver's side, weapon drawn. Jasmine follows, phone in hand. It's Michael.
You sure this is the place?
That's what I said. That's what it says. He's inside.
Arnold tucks his weapon in his pants.
Help me!
Jasmine puts the phone away as they lift up the shutters. Sticks at the top and they rush inside. Interior, abandoned post office, continuous. Complete darkness. Jasmine shines her phone light around the room as Arnold has a pistol trained. He waves it around and stops at a body.
And?
She moves the light towards the body's face. Horatio. It's slumped. Jasmine screams. Arnold puts his hand over her mouth.
Shining.
He inches forward, checks Horatio's pulse. Dead. She shines the light on Arnold's face, full of anger. 1,000-yard stare.
Arnold, I'm sorry.
He checks Horatio's hands. The middle fingers are missing. Arnold rushes towards the door. Jasmine scurries after him.
Arnold!
He heads out the door. Exterior, abandoned post office. Continuous. Rushes towards its X5.
Call the ambulance! Call Ellen! Kill him!
You sure?
It was him!
Arnold gets into his X5 and speeds away. Jasmine dials and puts the phone to her ear. Exterior warehouse, night. Arnold parks his X5 and steps out. He walks towards the front entrance, vengeance in his eyes. The behemoths open the door as Arnold steps inside. Interior warehouse, ground floor, continuous. Empty and quiet. Juxtaposition to what we witnessed earlier. Arnold rushes towards the escalators. His steps echo all around. This late, they've been shut off. He jogs up. Interior warehouse, second floor, continuous. The office lights have been turned off. Nobody up here either. Arnold jogs through and onto the second set of shut-down escalators. Jogs up. Interior warehouse, third floor, continuous. The junkies are still here, asleep. Arnold stomps past, waking some of them up. He jogs up to the final escalator. Interior warehouse, top floor, continuous. Arnold walks past the armed guards, all of whom nod at him, on his way to Blake's office.
Blake!
Empty. Arnold walks back to door 4. The armed guard steps aside as Arnold opens the door. It's surgically clean inside. No sign of what happened earlier. Arnold slams the door shut. He walks to door 3. The armed guard steps aside, allowed Arnold to open the door. Female doctor scans the severed finger using an infrared laser. The fingerprint appears on the computer she's at.
Blake.
She shakes her head. Arnold closes the door. Arnold moves to door 2. Armed guard opens it up for him. Piles of bills. He turns to the armed guard.
Man!
Armed guard doesn't respond. Closes the door. Arnold heads over to door 1. The armed guard opens up. Arnold's point of view. Door 1. An indoor garden. Artificial lighting. Water sprinklers screwed into the ceiling. Thousands upon thousands of tiny leaf plants all tended to around the block. Gardeners growing pineapples. Top floor. Arnold shuts the door. Heads back to Blake's office. Interior warehouse, top floor, Blake's office, continuous. He enters, heads over to Blake's desk, and runs his fingers along the wooden oak, strokes the leather of Blake's chair. Arnold sits on Blake's chair, puts a pistol on the desk and aims it at the door, finger on the trigger. Split screen, 6 sections, being to play simultaneously. Top row, left to right. Cuba pats the final Range Rover, sends it on its way. He gleefully stares at the skyscrapers. Quinn punches the speed bag with rapid hands. In a hospital room, Ella wails hysterically next to Horatio's lifeless body, as Jasmine stands in the corner. Bottom row, left to right. Blake practices his golf swing on his balcony. Arnold sits in Blake's chair, pistol trained. A CCTV screen displays a loading screen. 4 sections are swiped away, leaving us with split screen. Arnold on the left, CCTV stream on the right. The stream loads as Arnold appears. One real time, with a few seconds delay. From the angle of the stream, the painting on the wall behind Arnold makes it look like he's wearing a gold crown. Could he be the King of Manchester? Arnold notices the webcam and stares straight at us. Interior warehouse, top floor, Blake's office, continuous. Arnold watches the red light. Who's on the other end? Fade to black. To be continued. Woo! Excellent job to all you readers out there. You did awesome. Thank you so much, Zach, for sharing. Hope you guys go. I used all my English for the day. I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. Happy birthday, Noah. Feedback we're looking for. General thoughts. How do you feel about the characters? Are they easily distinguishable? Would you read episode 2? All right. I need some time to recharge. see who wants to go first, Willow or Dan?
I'll start because I'm kind of unsure what's going on. Really, I'm not sure where everyone's allegiances lie, and there are a lot of times where it feels like the actions are doing something or saying something, and then it's like yeah, and then it repeats itself. Like she says, her hands go up and down under the covers. Hey, by the way, did you know she's giving him a blowjob? It kind of sounds like it's in it. I guess it's like it's telling us things we already know. We can tell by that she's giving him a blowjob. You know? Hard to explain. Yes, but that's what I'm trying to say.
I could give some feedback whenever.
So, all in all, I don't know. Part of me just doesn't understand. I guess part of the plot seems to be kind of meandering. You've got so many characters, and I'm not looking at this story. I'm going, oh, this is the main character. I have no idea who the main character is. We don't have somebody who's like the root. Because, yeah, I get there's a lot of characters, but I feel like you should focus on maybe one character and have it be their story first. And then later on, as the story goes on, you can introduce all these other characters and their subplots. Anyway, I know we're on a lot of time crunch, so I'm going to just keep it short like that.
Yeah. I've never stayed like however long. My event that I usually have to be at is not happening tonight. Although Fantasy Workshop that is about to start, I believe.
So I'll keep it short.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
thanks,
how
Dan.
about if we say those who want to go to fantasy, you will prioritize you, and anyone who's not going, then we can maybe
That's a
do
good
that.
idea. Yeah. So yeah, who is gonna attend fantasy group? Who's short on time?
I will be headed there.
Okay. Dan, you got yours.
I'll go.
Mhm.
I thought the dialogue was great in this. I loved the voiciness, the little I don't know, like the little sides. I loved the way that it the little commentary in the action. I do think it was a little much on the gratuitous swearing because I am kind of in a public place and I don't want these walls are super thin. So a little bit nervous about that. But it was definitely a lot of fun, and I don't fun in a good way. This wasn't quite a happy, fun script, but it had its excitement to it.
All right, thanks, Willow. Anyone else not able to stick around? Okay.
Oh, was that me or you?
I can stick around. I don't have a life.
Oh,
Stick around, do this.
sorry, I didn't say we're going. Go ahead, Benny.
Oh, I was gonna say I do kind of see what Dan means when there isn't a central character. If I had to guess, is the main character Blake? Question mark? I don't know. As for the other general question, yes, I would absolutely want to see an episode 2. He walks through that door. Love the dialogue. I mean, what can I say? I got so obsessed with it. I got a little too into the character, which is a good thing.
Thanks, Benny.
Can I go?
It's all right. Go ahead.
Yeah, I thought it was Arnold as well. Sorry, we didn't Willow's comment. I thought the main character was Arnold.
What?
Okay, got it. But yeah, go ahead, Robert.
So I felt like the first 10 pages were kind of a slow start. Like they kill this retired police officer. I'm not sure how much of that actually is essential to the plot advancing. Then there's a scene where Jasmine's in like a, I don't know, a takeout place and she's getting dinner and she walks upstairs and it's like 8 pages into the script and like not much has actually happened with the actual a lot of the scenes don't like the scene charge doesn't seem to shift a whole lot in the beginning and end of the scenes. So it's not there doesn't seem to be a lot of drama between the beginning and ends of scenes, or tension. It's not like someone's just about to get caught or like with the drug stuff. I found it like it was. I guess it's kind of funny on the surface that there's drugs being moved around in coconuts and pineapples, but there's a reason drugs aren't sold in coconuts and pineapples because they're huge. They're hard to conceal. If there's a ton of pineapples and coconuts being exchanged everywhere, it's obvious something's going on, right? Like you're not going to be in the ghetto like, "Oh god, I guess everyone just decided to open up coconut stands." It would just really stand out, you know? Okay, I see your story, but that's for trafficking large quantities between like countries, right? You don't see that happening generally speaking, but some other
It was
things.
a market, apparently. Just looking at the article. So I guess, people do it. Might not be
Okay,
wise, but it
here's the
happens.
thing. You can go on the internet and find an example of anything. It just doesn't mean that it's the default, hey, this is how drugs are trafficked, right? You can find anything on the internet. Um, by about minute 30 or page 30 of this pilot, it doesn't seem like it's clear who the main character still is because it's bouncing between Blake, Arnold, Jasmine, and her emotional dysfunction and relationship issues. So it's just difficult to track like who am I supposed to be invested into? Um, let's see, a couple other things. Jasmine is supposed to be a professional killer, or at least someone who's familiar with killing people and carrying weapons. One thing that stuck out as someone who knows firearms is when you pull out a Glock, you don't cock it. The Glock is ready to fire. So that's just maybe if it was a 1911, you would disengage a safety or something like that.
But it has to.
Yeah, but it's just not realistic. It's like if I'm a killer and I pull my gun out, it's to kill you. It's not to cock it to intimidate you. But that's just, particular about firearms related things because a professional with a firearm doesn't do that. Because if you had a round in the chamber and you cocked the gun, it would just eject the round out of the chamber and you look like an amateur. There's other guns where you could pull it out and decock, or I'm sorry, you could disengage the safety and it would go click and it would be like, oh shit, the person's ready to kill me. So you could still have some effect like that you're looking for, but more realistic. It seems like there's just too many characters introduced. And I notice it seems like there's a recurring theme where the female characters are running everything and they're always outsmarting their husband or their I don't like for whatever reason it seems like they're always talking down to the male characters. Like Quinn is talking down to Cuba, Ella's bashing her husband and treating him like a child, even though police officers, it just seems like they're getting played like a fiddle. Doesn't seem all that realistic when they're used to dealing with manipulative liars, killers all the time. Let's see. And then the two cops that arrive and they're like, "Hey, we're here to take Jasmine into custody." And Arnold's like, "Oh, I got her, no problem." They're like, "Oh, great, sir, we're out of here." Like they would contact dispatch. They'd say, "Hey, dispatch, did you dispatch so and so to? He's here right now. He's got her." And then he proceeds to go on a rescue mission for Horatio with Jasmine, despite already telling two police officers, "I'm taking this." is doing stuff that would get him thrown in prison for being an accessory to murder. There's just a lot of things that stick out as like, there's no way this would ever happen. These characters are written in ways that they would have gone to jail a long time ago with the behavior that they're displaying. So those are my notes.
Thanks, Robert. Anyone else short on time, or can we just continue from the top then as we were going? All right, Evil Michael, it's you. Any feedback?
Yeah, okay. So, thank you. You know, I guess this is British, England, Manchester. I really enjoy seeing the underside, the underworld of the countries. An American, know about our underworld, but when I see it in, especially someplace like England, you know, we Americans look at England and God and Queen country and space and the People magazine and stuff, but England is a rough, brutal place, and that's why I love that TV show Top Boy so much. I binged that thing during the pandemic, so I like that aspect of it. Here's what I'm going to say. I don't know if this applies to England script readers. In America, you're doing a spec script, cut down on atmospheric descriptions. That's called directing the director. Put people in a place and then do the actions and the dialogue and leave it at that. All that other stuff about how she smiled or how they felt or how they thought, all these other descriptors, taking up too much space, giving professional script readers too much to read. So reduce all of that and replace it with this cocky dialogue you got. You've got some mean-spirited, angry, sarcastic, evil dialogue. And that's what I want. The last thing, and also, you're going to hear a lot of, I didn't know who to root for and I didn't know their backstory. The last thing I want is to read a predictable script. I want to be surprised. I want to be taken unknown. I want to have a surprise. I want to have the rug pulled out from under me. I don't want to know everybody's backstory before I know who to root for. So keep that in there. Keep the mystery. If your characters have a bunch of secrets, good. I have to ask a question. It said episode 1. Zach, is this a TV show? Asking a question, Zach. Is this a TV show?
It's a TV pilot.
Good. Okay, look here. Hey, man, you don't have to flesh out all your characters before they act, respond, or do. You give the viewing audience an onion. Peel back the layers of that onion with each episode. Don't have to. I don't like being spoon-fed characters and script and story. Okay, now I know what this character's backstory is. Now I can enjoy the movie. Screw that, man. Keep the mystery. Your script is brutal. Some real brutality in there. I like that. It is want nice, comfortable TV. I like this stuff. Here's what I would say. Get out of your own way. All of that atmospheric descriptors that you do, saying that character looked this way or delivered their line this way or they felt this way or anything that described all that, leave that to the director. The characters in a place, have them act, speak. Now, when you remove all that, replace it with some more of that smart aleck, cruel, sarcastic, evil dialogue you've got. Because your dialogue is great. I love it. Brutality of these guys, beating the cop to death. you had me at beat the cop to death at the first scene. And also, I want to ask a question. Did we read this script about a month ago? It sounds very familiar. It sounds like another script you
We've
read about.
definitely read snippets of it before. I think most recently the scene with the cheesecake and Ella getting mad.
Yeah, but is this a rewrite of a script we did about a month or so ago? It sounds awfully familiar. But I would say this. Okay. Well, watch this. You don't have to flesh out a character before you introduce them. We don't have to know their backstory, especially in television. Now, in a 90-minute film, different. Yes, you got to flesh out that character, get all that motivation done, and then start the story. But in television, no. Keep secrets. Let people find out about your characters as they develop and as the series goes on. Go on with that. Make it more vicious. Make it more vicious. You know, make it more vicious. Make it more uncomfortable. Then again, that's me. That's
Michael.
If you've read my scripts, you know. Gone. Yep, I'm done.
I just wanted to say, if like he's right, Michael's right. It is a pilot. You can't go into like a bunch of details for everybody, otherwise you wouldn't have time for the rest of the pilot. But when you're writing the script and you're introducing a character, I would, use a good sentence or two to describe who is this person in this world. Just describe them in a way that you have a really clear image in your mind of who they are, how they behave. If you just say like little cop and bigger cop, like this doesn't do anything to flesh out this world in any way.
I disagree.
So like,
there's a big cop, there's a little cop, and let the audience discover that as they read on.
but here's the thing: if you're a script reader, you read 100 scripts a week. I would argue that's just so basic. It just doesn't do, like, if someone's reading your script, you want to make it interesting the whole way through. You don't want to be like, oh, big cop, little cop. Like, that doesn't do anything to enhance this story in any way.
It's up to the director.
You have to get past the script reader.
So, Robert, what would you, I guess, describe middle cop, big cop?
I don't know, a million things. You could say something like the big cop who looks like he takes pleasure bashing in shitbags' heads every day on shift. So
If you
I don't
can't
know.
film it, don't type it.
We may never need to talk about him again or visit that character.
Okay,
Shouldn't
so
be like-
no, it doesn't. They're not there for amusement. They want to find out, and you just gave the script reader too much to read. If you're gonna do that, if that's the character, then it will come out in the words they say and the actions they do, and that's what has refined me as a writer, rather than me describing. Find out about this character.
But it can be both, Michael. It can be both. It can be both. Because when you introduce a character, there's a number of characters introduced in this story where it's just, here's their name, or I'll give an example. There was a police officer that calls Arnold into the room and like, hey, what happened with your car? Why wasn't the GPS working? Her title is superior cop or superior officer or something. Like, we can't even get a name. We can't get anything about her. It looks like she's his superior who looks like she's invested too much of her life in police work or something, anything.
I agree. Here's what we agree. I agree we do that, but it should come out in the dialogue, not in the character log, not in the log lines, not in the action lines. It should come out in the dialogue. Everything you find out about a character comes from their actions and their words, not from me telling you.
Okay, I would just say look into, maybe read some other scripts and see what other police dramas are similar to what you're trying to do and see what's actually gotten produced into a TV show.
Okay, and then there's a pilot script and there's a shooting script, and we need to understand. But here's the thing. What I want to say to Zach, this writer, is you've got some interesting characters, you've got some action, and you've got some dialogue that compels me. What turns me off is you telling me how they look to raise the eyebrow or what they think of or and all that stuff. Let it come out in their actions and their words. So keep that snappy dialogue, that snappy action, bashing another head, make another curse word, something like that. But don't describe characters for me in the script. And Mike is out.
I was about to say, okay, let's like run through everyone, and then like further thoughts we can touch on like after we've gone through everyone. I don't want anyone to be like incarcerated here waiting for their turn. Although you guys do have a great discussion point, so good job on that. But he did your turn. Any thoughts?
Oh, yeah, I thought the start was a bit cheesy with like looking at the pictures, but then he gets fucking beaten down by a fucking baseball bat, so that's pretty cool, I guess. But if I could compare this story to other stories, it reminds me of The Counselor. This story by Ridley Scott. It's a movie. Um, in the sense that things are moving, but we don't know what's really going on. You know, like shit. Oh, shit is happening right now, but we don't. We don't. Again, like as everyone was saying, we don't have a main character. Um, but things are happening. Deals are being made, and people are being killed. I like Ella and Jasmine, and the idea that she reminds me of Lydia by this character in Breaking Bad, where um, she is dealing in this underground illegal shit, but she seems reserved in a sense. That's how I saw it. So I see The Counselor, Breaking Bad, a bit of this show, Tokyo Vice, in the sense of like there's a lot of mechanics happening at the same time where people are talking and they're trying to get, I guess, the goal of money. That's what it seems. That's what we're trying to reach for, or at least trying to see what these people are trying to fight for. Um, People were saying there's a lot of character intros, and it's a lot. It's a lot of characters hitting you at the same time, but it can be cool, but it hits us a bit hard at the beginning, and like everyone was saying, we need a main character, or at least someone that we're like, oh, that he has a purpose, instead of like we're gonna have to root for the deal with this. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, that's all I got.
Thank you. He did. Jadea, any thoughts? Are you there?
Sorry, um, I didn't hear enough of it. Uh, I did hear the cheesecake scene again, and as usual, I liked it. Um, I didn't hear enough of it to really give feedback. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Joel, do you have any feedback? You
Well,
nailed
I
that sentence.
certainly have a lot of thoughts. It was really great. It did really well to keep us engaged, and was really exciting. Unfortunately, I was multitasking too much to really be able to analyze it as much as I wanted to. But would I watch it? 100% yes. It does sound really interesting. It sounds quite different, but at the same time has the different, reminds me of various programs that have done really well. A little bit of Line of Duty. There was an aspect of, whatever that's called, Peaky Blinders, and there were just other programs that came to mind that have done really well. So yeah, I think this does have potential to do well. And I'm really sorry I can't give you better feedback. Your dialogue was interesting. But yeah, I'm sorry I can't give you better feedback than that.
It's okay. Thanks, Joel. Nacho, you have any feedback?
Yeah, can you guys come back to me?
Come back to you. Oh, my brain. Please, God, help. Sizzling in a pan with a slice of Spam.
That sounds so delicious.
Yeah, it really,
Could I ask a question?
well, I want to try to get down the line first.
Go for it, yeah.
Can you, like, write it down? Yeah, okay. Noah, any feedback? You there, Noah? Let's see, Paul, any thoughts? They've
Yeah,
experienced
I'm here.
it.
Sorry about that. Right, main thing I have to say positively about it is I like how the two things. I like how it keeps on moving. Like it never feels stagnant. Like things are always happening. I always got something to look at, really. So I think that's great. And then the dialogue is really, really good. So, you know, keep doing your thing, man. I think that it was really hard to get attached to any of the characters, but it was always like a good time. So I think that like, you know, if you can create that sense of attachment to the characters, or at least give more like outside of just like crime and stuff, you know, like them more being people, I think that I'd really like push it um to like the next level, which I think you're already levels above. Like I don't know. Other stuff I've read, you're really good, man. Keep doing what you're doing. And yeah, that's what I have to say.
Thanks, Paul. Pollock, don't know if you want to use your mic or if you want to type feedback, but either way. Robert says might be a lot better if Horatio is a clean cop than gets murdered by Blake because his corrupt parents piss him off. Arnold would carry huge guilt. And that would exacerbate things, wouldn't it? That would be a cool approach.
Just an idea.
Mm-hmm. Heated, you had a question, right?
Yeah, no, I asked it. I was just asking Zach who was his favorite character. He said
Yeah.
Ella. I mean, I like the idea. I don't know if it was Ella or Jasmine, but I guess the idea of like a woman using her, I mean, a woman using sex, to her advantage, you know, is pretty hot, but it's smart also. Yeah, for some reason, Ella or Jasmine, I don't know, gave me a lot of Jerry vibes from Succession. And that like she's smart in what she's doing, but she also has her internal feelings that's a bit fucked up. You know, I guess it was Jasmine singing happy birthday to herself. And big ups to Dan for singing how sad that was. But yeah, I really enjoyed that character. It's I guess this passes the Bechdel test, right? In a sense, I think. But yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
I feel like. Are you done? Sorry.
No, go.
I felt like the singing "Happy Birthday" to yourself in my mind. I'm like, if I was a 13 broken-hearted teenager, I might do that. But Jasmine's an adult. She's a killer. She's lived dealing with drug dealers and murderers. I just couldn't imagine like I'm gonna sing a sad happy birthday song to myself. I was like, nah, I'm gonna. She'd go out, snort some coke, have some random sex, and move on because she's a killer. That's how I would look at it. Just my opinion. And I think that the way Ella talks to Arnold is a little bit again, just my opinion, I would, instead of her giving him a hand job and saying, "This is what I want this, I want that," I would think that she would be implanting it in his mind. This is what you want. You deserve more money. Blake is a liar. He's a piece of shit. Like, she would be implanting the idea and manipulate. Like, she's creating this reality in Arnold's mind that helps her get what she wants. She's not going to say she wants it. That's too it's too obvious of an agenda on her part. She's just going to, slowly manipulate him into doing everything that helps her get what she wants.
Yeah. Yeah, singing happy birthday to herself is a bit immature, I guess. But yeah, it could be, I guess, more subtle in the dialogue, or at least in the mechanics and the movements of what she's trying to do and accomplish.
I really like the well, if I hadn't seen it before of like characters singing happy birthday to themselves while crying over a single cupcake with a candle on it, like I do like that image. Like even if I've seen it a lot, it doesn't mean it's still a very interesting and entertaining visual, just like this sort of unhinged loneliness and sort of, delirium. And I like that Jasmine is not confined to just being a killer who does drugs and is mean and bad and would not eat a cupcake and sing happy birthday to herself. I think, like, you have to distinguish your characters somehow. So I thought that was a cool quirk to go with because she is limerent for that Quinn girl and not emotionally stable, I have to say. Doesn't seem that way from the outside. So I enjoyed that bit. But maybe you put Jasmine in a BDSM dungeon being whipped by strangers. I guess
I think you're projecting there.
Am I project? Aw.
I'm just.
Wait. Am I going to sing happy birthday to myself?
This is visual storytelling, right? And you can put a cupcake on her ass while they're whipping her, and then we're both happy.
Yeah.
That's an HBO show right there.
Oh yeah. But anyway, the takeaway is make your own thing. But that is just one outlook that I have, not objective. But let's see. Jasmine is not supposed to be emotionally
These characters
stable.
are committing
I think you're
crimes
cheating
and doing drugs. None of them should be stable.
Yeah. That's true. Evil Michael says there are corrupt cops, not Leave It to Beaver. But yeah, is there anyone we haven't addressed yet?
Not sure
if you want your script to get picked up, be different, break rules, and do something that is unexpected. Follow the formula.
You're right.
But you need a main character. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like we need to see the person that we're like, oh, this is the person. Like again, like I said, this was like Breaking Bad, in the sense of like.
Who's the main character of Tombstone? I mean, I like ensembles where, like Chicago PD and Tombstone. You got so many interesting characters. I like that.
Hey guys.
That's a film.
I thought we went through
I mean?
everyone, but it turns out I was supposed to come back to Nacho. But after we go through Nacho's feedback, we can continue.
Oh, no, please continue. I'm still reading.
All right. Sorry.
Nice to be back, guys. I haven't been on one of these in like 3 months.
Just because some writers, teacher said you got to have a main character, put all the characters in there you want. If I watch it week for week, you'll get sponsorship.
But that's the thing, is that you got to write it for the, I don't know who said it before, but you got to write it for the screenwriter, or you got to write it for the reader. Unfortunately, that's how it is. You know, like for example, when the guy breaks in and he beats him with a baseball bat, I guess, I mean, put some caps in there, and the idea of like make it look more menacing on the page. You know, it just happens on the page. You know, but a couple of caps, he bashes him in the head with the baseball bat. Not that he just, oh, this happens right here. But that's just me. Every once in a while, I like writing. I like your writing, honestly, like the formatting. It's very simple. Um, it's very simple, and that you're giving us, um, at no point are you doing double dashes. At no point are you getting too flowery with the format. That being said, I think you could fuck around with it a bit more, and I feel like it'll shine.
Tell your story, Zach. Put as many characters as you think you need to tell your story. Write what you believe in, and if you need two or three main characters in constant conflict with each other, confusing your viewer, oh, now you got some interesting TV going.
I started being a screener for the Austin Film Festival, and so I watch shorts, features, all kinds of stuff, and I've noticed you might be more forgiving on stories until you watch a ton of them and have to score them all the time. And I would say 95% of them within 10 minutes, you're like, I know this is not going to be worth watching. Or less, 5 minutes, opening scene even. And so I start to get into I start to understand if you're a professional script reader for a studio or whoever, you're going to read page 1, page 2, maybe. And you're going to have a pretty good idea of where this script, like how good it's going to get, most likely. And so if it's not, the page isn't popping and you're not interested immediately and you lose track of time, and if you start getting like, so and so walks up the stairs, so and so walks past a bodyguard, you're going to be like, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm not trying to be hard. I'm just saying, like, somebody that's watching a ton of films or reading a ton of scripts, they just don't care to read the little details unless it's like spicing up the world that you're in. Then they might read it. But you just have to like really keep the pacing moving along, keep the drama and tension going.
Robert, I was wondering if I could ask you a question. What's something in a screenplay, a formatting style that you like?
A formatting style? You mean
Yeah,
like just how it looks on the page?
yeah, like something that they do, and then you go like, I like that. You know, not that it's acceptable if you go to fucking film school or go they tell you this is how you got to do it, but they break away from it and you go, I like that actually.
I don't read a ton of scripts. I've been watching a lot of films. That's about like for me, I guess in general is pacing. People get here's the thing is if something is essential to the story, you can describe more about it. If it's not essential to the story, it needs to be cut. And that's a hard I know that's a very simple rule. And it's literally like scene by scene, description by description, dialogue by dialogue. But my general rule is cut the script till it bleeds because 99% of the time, people have too much information in their script that's irrelevant. This either setting up what is the premise of this story, or why is this character important, or um, scenes that begin too early, end too late. Like keep the pacing going throughout so that the person cannot stop reading from this scene ends. I have to see what the next scene is. This scene
I agree,
ends.
Rob.
I have to get to the next page.
All that atmospheric description is just too much. Give me words and action, words and action,
So
words and action.
yeah, pretty much the idea would be fuck the prose and keep the white space. Right?
Yes, it's better off that way.
Words and action, words and action, and action. Let the director handle all that other stuff.
I think sometimes you have to write a little bit more on descriptions. Like a lot of my action stories I write, the opening couple of pages are like these big action epic type scenes. But when you read through it, it doesn't feel like you're dragging through it. It's like you see this epic thing, this thing, this thing, and it's like in your mind you're playing this movie quickly. But if the descriptions are, I went outside this morning and the sun was rising and the dew was collecting on the, like, who gives a shit? There's nothing happening.
Exactly.
Like, it
Exactly.
doesn't
Yeah.
matter. But if a
Thank you, Rob.
building's collapsing, you're jumping out of, like, there's movement going on, there's tension,
Exactly,
someone's about to
Robert.
die, you're on the edge of death at all times. Okay, now
Yeah.
I could read through that and be interested.
Right. Well-lit room with a poster of this and the duster feather goes over. Oh, stop it. I don't need all that. Open the door and I hit with a baseball bat. Boom, now you got my attention.
Or if the descriptions are important to like painting a picture of this character's emotional state, it gives you a perspective of where they are in this journey. Okay, that's good, but this is why table reads are so good, because in our mind we always have an idea of what's going to work. And then we submit it to the table read.
I got myself a beer. There you go. Not I know this character.
I mean, I love getting feedback from you guys. I've rewritten my stuff, so it's not like, my opinion is only an opinion, and everyone in here has an opinion. So it's great to hear a wide, diverse range of opinions.
Okay, thanks, guys. Nacho, you want to go have your feedback?
I'm like reading like the last page, so maybe in a few
Okay.
in a minute.
Going to finish this funny message I was. Guess I haven't gone yet. I can't really say anything intelligent about it. I enjoyed it. Sort of got lost easily. There are a bunch of moving parts, so yeah, I would say either condense it or cut down or cut some characters, but I'm not sure which I would choose. They all seemed pretty distinct and pretty engaging. I loved on was it page 48? Yeah, 49. Love that Arnold just has in his phone, it's just wife. Not even name.
Should be Satan.
Should be what?
Satan. It rings. I was kind of at the end when he runs up into that, like the 5th level of that warehouse. I'm like, why aren't the guards stopping him? Like, Blake murdered his son. Why doesn't Blake just have his guys kill Arnold, get rid of him? That seemed kind of unusual.
Didn't you want to inflict pain?
Well, I mean, he killed his son. Now he can get rid of him.
It's true.
It also seemed a bit like he wanted to feel like Blake, right? Like sitting in his chair and then feeling it up and all that. And it does seem weird. I do like the visuals, Zach, of going into a room and seeing there's a garden there. It seems weird. It seems kind of dreamy. So I really like that part too.
I wanted to touch upon some minor things. Like, you have a point where they walk up to the person and and the action says, "She's dead," or the character, or forget who it was, character's dead. So then the two characters say, "Is she? Yeah, she's dead." Instead, you can see like they come to this lifeless body, and then they say, "Is she? Yes." We're smart enough to figure it out that the character is dead.
I felt like this story with, what's her name? Jasmine comes into this club and just starts fucking killing people. She slits a bouncer's throat. She's like, I don't know. I was thinking like John Wick in my mind that I don't know how big this woman is, but bouncers are usually pretty big dudes, and for her to visually speaking, there's like if to me it just feels like we're stretching the realm of believability. She's gonna walk into a public place where there's people everywhere and murder someone because she wants to go talk to Quinn, I think it is. Like, couldn't she like run into her at Starbucks without murdering people? I know, I know you want to tell a visually interesting story. It just seemed like that's such an unstable thing that she could get herself killed. Like, you could die, someone could kill you. You know, it just seemed like it's. I don't know why she would risk her own life getting into that situation.
Yeah, so I think you have a really like a really cool world. Like this story world is something I really felt like, you know, I could enjoy. It's a bit different from the Ace of Spades or the other script that I read. This is more you know, it's got its own kind of character. I really like you've got a lot of um like a lot of characters that are, you know, fascinating and some great moments, some great scenes here that I really enjoyed. Like, and I think in terms of like, um, on the like a scene unit, right? Like a character kind of like wants something in the scene, and they're trying different tactics with the other character. You know, they're trying like you've got some great dialogue with that kind of like, you know, kind of back and forth. And I'll share like more, you know, kind of like my notes on the script later. I'll made some notes on the actual script, but I think what the issue, like what's missing is the A story, right? We're missing an A story. Like it felt like maybe it was going to be sort of Arnold versus Blake. So these are two, I guess, a kind of corrupt criminal organizations. Um, we kind of set up Blake's world and what he does, and it just felt like Arnold. He just kind of went MIA until the third act. Like we almost didn't really see him very much in this, and I kind of it seems like he should be driving this whole episode. Like he needs a really clear goal, like what he's trying, or you could have Ella be your A story. I'm not sure exactly, but you need to like figure out like whose episode this is and give them like a really clear goal that we can kind of root for. And then like, you know, your other subplots like the Quinn and Jasmine and you know, Cuba and the other stuff that's going on. I think it just kind of you want to sort of beat those out separately and then figure out how to weave it all together, right? Because it feels like we're missing. We need someone just driving the story, kind of, you know, for example, you know, maybe I don't. I mean, I have no idea exactly, you know, how whether this makes any sense in your story or not. But like, you know, if it's Arnold, he's getting found out that he's getting investigated for being a corrupt cop, and he's got to do something some important external thing. You know, that's his main goal for the whole episode, in order to whatever, you know, avoid going to jail or something, right? Or if it's Ella, you know, maybe she's got to do something. You know, I mean, I would just kind of really figure out like whose story this pilot episode is, and kind of zero in on them. And like the opening, I seem to recall a different version where, you know, we open with I think Manning knocking on a door, and he just like, you know, whacks some dude with a baseball bat, and then like I think this is a little bit different. It still works, but it feels like we're missing a great opportunity in your cold open to build suspense when Arnold, you know, this is a cop who's going to respond to, you know, some kind of a call. And we understand there's another cop who's injured or getting killed or whatever inside, like you could really sort of have a cool cold open where we think like Arnold is just a normal cop, and then when he, you're cutting back and forth to the interior, and then bam, it turns out, oh, he's Blake's buddy, and he helps him roll up the dead cop. Like that could be pretty interesting, like cold open. I think there's a couple great moments. I really liked the scene on page 25 when the superior officer is like, bringing up problems with Arnold. Like it felt like maybe that we should have got to that a little bit sooner. And when Blake is, I guess, murdering his boss or his grandpa or whoever the fragile man is, that's a really interesting scene where he's like trying all kinds of different things, and the fragile man just ignores him, and then he just starts beating him to death. It's pretty intense. So yeah, I think you have some great moments. It's just like we need a stronger A story to just tie it all together, like just help us kind of like we need to be rooting for somebody to like pull something off that's going to be really difficult. And just I guess if it's going to be like war between these two criminal enterprises, maybe establish what Ella and Jackson's criminal enterprise is a little bit more clearly, and then we see like, oh, it's these two families that are going to be like they're going to war, and that's what this whole series is going to be about or something. But yeah, I'll share my other notes later. But yeah, thanks so much, man. I really enjoyed reading this and look forward to reading more.
Thank you, Nacho.
Did you have questions for any of us, Zach?
No questions for you guys at the moment. All right. Well, I think we've gotten through everyone's feedback. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing, Zach. Hope some of the feedback helps. I will actually dole out script coins this time. And let's see. Fantasy workshop going on right now. Animation group tomorrow. Script swap Tuesday. Horror group Tuesday. Disabled writers group Tuesday at 11. Wait, no. Did that change time slots?
I don't think so, no. It's whatever time. I don't know what time it's PST.
Yeah. I didn't know we had one on Tuesday.
Oh, that's the disabled writers group rather than
the workshop.
Disability workshop.
Oh, okay.
The disabled writers group is for writers who are disabled, and that is 9 a.m. PST on Tuesday. And the disability workshop is Saturdays 8 a.m. PST. Wait, are you PST or PDT now?
I feel like I looked it up on Wikipedia a long time ago and did not retain any of the information.
Pacific time, whatever P you are.
Tally. But yeah, I swear I will have those script coins to you this time. But I will see you guys next time.
Take care.
Looks like Gray's already gone. Is that enough?
Yeah, just vanished into the abyss. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Have a good evening. Cheers.